Sound check, sound check. Sound check. All right. I got an echo here somewhere. All right. All right. Hold on. I think I still hear a little bit of an echo. I can't. That's all right. All right, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hard Truth Thursday Night Live. Happy holidays to you all. Hope you're having a fine week. How's everybody feeling tonight? Who we got here? All right, I see Cindy. All right, I see Annie. Leslie Vasquez. All right. I thought I saw Robin Lake. All right, shout out to all you wonderful people. So happy to see you. Uh-oh. My co-host, Davina Italian. We're going to have some fun tonight. All right. Well, we have a new suspect. But before I get into, actually, it's not a new suspect. Hold on just a minute. I got a little bit too much going. I don't know why I got that. All right. We have a new suspect. Then this suspect is not new to me. As a matter of fact, I made a video about it. And y'all all got so upset. Clutch your pearls. But it's coming around again. I see it, Liz. What's up, Dan? All right, this is where we're going to start. We have 4 topics tonight. Good to see everybody. All right, let's see you, Sergeant Friday. I'm gonna throw the link out here so I can get off of this one. All right. So we have a new suspect because, as you know, I still hear the echo. Let me turn this off. I think this is what it is. Okay, what about now? Alright, what's going on, man? Can you hear me? I'm still
Hello?
going. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, what's going on? Where's your face?
Who?
Where's your face?
It's not there? That's weird. I don't know.
How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing lovely, thank you.
Hey, buonasera a tutti, buona festa boy. There we go. What's going on?
Right. What's it? That's some grease lightning.
No, that was just me just messing around, that's all. That wasn't no grease lightning.
All right. What's up, Cindy?
Grease lightning, oh wow. Oh yeah, that's some grease. That's right, I forgot about that, yeah. Hey, what are you talking about? They don't do any high pitches in that. Well, actually they do on the one part and but that's the only part they do that. Well, that's in a different song.
No, that was good. No, that was good.
Yeah, that sounded pretty cool, right?
Shout out for that. You get a shout out for that. That was good. Now this is.
Oh.
Let me read just one little piece of this quickly.
Yeah.
All right. This is UNLV mass shooter was career college professor, source says, but unknown whether he had connection with the school. All right. And this article is CNN, December the 7th. Updated this morning. And the gunman at the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, I mean, he shot, 4 of them got shot, but 3 of them died. Or if that one hadn't survived, that would have been another 4.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Another 4. And
Might have been.
Listen who did it. Listen. Wounded 3, left 3 dead, and a 4th wounded is a 67-year-old career college professor with connections to colleges in Georgia and North Carolina, a law enforcement source told CNN. But it's unknown what connection he had with the school where the shooting took place. Now listen, I told y'all, I said, well, Kohberger and his professor are fighting, so, you know, maybe the professor felt like he was trying to take his job, you know, maybe that's why he kept writing them up. I made a video on it, and everybody was like, oh, you're being disrespectful to the professor, and you're just trying to investigate anybody. A 67-year-old man just shot up a school. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
Huh?
That's some crazy stuff.
He was a professor, and then they took him out. So, somebody in Brian Kohberger's teacher's position is not immune to doing stuff. I keep saying that, you know. You can't tell me what somebody won't do, because everybody over there in Pullman and Moscow need to be suspects until they can prove who did it. Everybody. And you can't get mad when they point at somebody that you really just think is totally innocent of it. We don't even know. I mean, we're taking shots at it, but we don't know. And this professor kept writing Bryan Kohberger up. And the accusation from the student might have came through him too. You know, he might have been behind it. And then when they investigated it, they found out, they said there was nothing to it. So he's capable. I was going to switch the screen to the video, but I was like, well, they might not want to see that again, or a piece of it. But you know, I told you, the professor, Bryan left his clothes in his apartment. And we're going to get to the other parts of the case in a minute. But Bryan left his clothes in his apartment. So he was expecting to come back to school. In his mind, he hadn't been fired. He hadn't received a letter from anybody. So what I'm saying is, you know, the professor might have been working up on that, but it hadn't happened. After all the complaints and fights with this professor, Bryan had not been fired. And so, you know, he went home with his dad, and next thing you know, all of a sudden they got all this information on him that started in Pullman. The crime happened in Moscow, but they're telling us they came up with this guy in Pullman. Pullman police reported him. They saw his car in Pullman. Everything happened, you know, it's coming out of Pullman. So I think the professor should be a suspect. That's the way I see it. What's going on? Hi, Heartshoots. Hope you're well. Love your video on the sad violence we seek ongoing and educational locales. Thank you, Miss Cindy. Because you know what? People don't want to hear it, but I don't care. I'm going to continue to put it out. Because what's the difference between going to university and going to war, joining the military? Both of them coming back in body bags. What's the difference? That's crazy. And that's supposed to be our next generation of leaders. Who's going to be next? In 20 years, we're going to have a president that never went to college. Because he's going to be the best thing available. Honestly. That's my opinion. And so, I don't care if you don't have a child or a grandchild, pass it to somebody who does. Because it's rough out here, and these kids are dropping like flies. It's not by accident, it's not random. I don't think it's some serial killer, you know, or anything like that like before. This is just a war on kids, a spiritual war. Anywhere they can get them, trafficking them, can't even go to university, can't even go to uni. That's crazy. What's up, Les? You can't even go to university. And then the same day the Idaho 4 were harmed, they had the same thing. Some kids got shot up on the bus on the East Coast on the same day, I believe. I mean, and it's like, are we that desensitized that this just, okay, as they happen, we just keep watching them like movies? It's no problem, you know, no advocacy, nobody's upset that this keeps happening. I just don't understand it. And then they got another student tied up in it as the suspect. So students, they're having a rough time out here. Instead of worrying about forgiving student loans, they're trying to make sure they don't get popped. I know I would be. I'd tell them, hey, I didn't come to school for all this, you know. Because this is really, really, really getting to be out of control. And it's not just university. Look how they're getting gunned down in the the secondary schools. What's going on, Davino?
Hello? There you are.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on with my picture. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I see your
So good.
fingerprint. I guess that's good enough.
Well, at least it's something, right?
Well, I guess I better take what I can get. That's what it seemed like. Take what you can get, girl. 'Cause that's all you gonna get.
There you go.
I take.
Talk to them more. There you go. All right.
For now. Okay, listen. What are y'all talking about? I don't see the chat moving. I see Cindy blowing up. What's up, Annie Ruler? Hola.
Baby.
All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next topic because I'm not getting really no play talking about this one here. And so, it's just weird that people don't have an interest in it. And we're studying a case of 4 people that lost their lives, like sticking to it like glue. But these kids over here, and just the way the whole thing looks, people don't really seem to care. They're not my kids, but I tell you one thing, I have kids, and this right here, this is not right. This is not right. I got so many profiles up here. Hold on, let me see who this is. I want to talk about these rumors going around about where Ethan and okay, that's Legs.
Joy, hey Davino.
All right, hey, what's going on, Legs? You popped off again. Okay, hold on, let me change the screen. We're gonna go to Ethan and Xana now because there's a lot of rumors out here, and I know y'all believe them too. All right. So I just wanted to say hi, LOL. How you been, Heart too? I'm good, sir. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to this article here, and I'm gonna go ahead and read the part right quick.
Mm-hmm. What is that? What the heck is that?
All right, this article is nothing new, but because everybody's got this rumor going around, this is this is how we have to do it. All right, and so this one says, Idaho Murders Internet has new theory about why Ethan Chapin was found near Xana Kernodle's room doorway. And this was February the 6th. This old news coming back around, but
Supposedly.
Yeah.
They said that he was in the bathroom and then he heard something and then I guess he might have came out. That's a possibility. I don't know. That was mentioned one time.
Yeah. I've been hearing that, and then I've been hearing that Xana was the one.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
All right. So it says, what was Ethan Chapin doing in the doorway? In a subreddit thread dedicated to discussing the investigation on the quadruple Idaho homicides, Redditor, whoever, what about this possible explanation of BK's interaction with Xana and Ethan? As part of their speculative explanation, the Redditor pushed the theory that Chapin might have been alerted by Kernodle after she heard or saw movement from the 3rd floor in the stairwell. The post then goes on to speculate that the murderer might have overheard Kernodle saying there's someone there and gone to investigate to evaluate whether this is a collateral damage situation. At this point, Chapin might have gone to the doorway of Bernardo's room where he came face to face with Koberger, who then responded by attacking Chapin and then his girlfriend. Okay, so that rumor was out in February. It's just coming back around.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it. So what I'm saying is, first of all, if either one of them was outside of the room, then we still being lied to. Because first, everybody was asleep. 2 down in the first floor, 2 in the middle, you know. And now all of a sudden, Dylan is on the second floor. But everybody was asleep. And now then it was like, well, Xana and Kaylee fought, but the other 2 were asleep. And then they couldn't get that straight. And in the PCA it says Xana was fine when he entered the bedroom. It says on the PCA when he entered Xana's bedroom, he saw her body on the floor. That's what it says in the PCA. So I really don't either. Somebody we're just being straight lied to, or Xana was on the floor in the room, which is where I believe she was, because if she had made it out of the room, we wouldn't see the blood dripping down the side of the house, because she wouldn't have been in there bleeding out.
Right.
So Xana was where they said she was in the first place. That's why I love to go back to the PCA, because that's way before they got all these lies together.
See,
And they know they had to turn that in, so it might be at least 25% truth, maybe.
I think this could have been staged too.
Huh?
I think it might have been staged. What I mean is, it didn't last no 9 minutes, and I think whatever happened to them, they were actually put back in their rooms to make it look like they were killed in their rooms.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Because, you know, this fairy tale where it's compartmentalized into us just envisioning these kids asleep and just quickly being attacked. That's what they've been pushing. And, you know, I'm willing to accept it. I see you last twice for some reason. Sorry.
Yeah, and also the thing is, they found Ethan behind the door. They're saying in Xana's bedroom, which that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well.
Depending now, if you open the door, if it's opening towards the room is one thing, but if you're opening it and it's coming towards you, that's a different situation. So if they couldn't open the door, that means he was blocking the door, his body.
Right.
But if you open the door and it would open towards you, then it's like if he was up against the door, then the body, his body would have like basically either fallen out, or like fallen, through the doorway, or it would have still, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Which is still creepy either way.
Right. That's what I said. But I think this is just another fantastic story.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a fantastic story. I made an animation about it, and everybody, they really liked it. But the point of the matter is, if Hunter went and checked on Ethan, he knew what condition he was in.
Yeah.
So
that's what makes no sense.
That, and then turn around and tell us somebody called and said somebody was unconscious.
They claim that the EMT or dispatch in Idaho or Moscow, they use a code. If there is a DB, they will say that they are unconscious, which I never heard of that in my life.
I don't believe it, because
I don't believe it either.
If somebody called 911, somebody was hysterical in the background.
Oh yeah. And you still can't hear that call.
Somebody had to be.
Which still makes no sense. Yeah.
Those 911 calls go straight to Pullman, and then Pullman dispatches it to MPD. Whitcomb is in Pullman. And so they don't know what's going on unless,
There's a
But
reason why they
in
don't want the
Moscow.
public. Yeah, there's a reason why they don't want the public to hear that call. But I'm also wondering.
Toy Airy. It's a
Yeah.
reason why I agree. What is it? Why can't we see it?
Yeah, why can't we hear it? Unless Kaylee tried to call 911 too. I don't know. It's a possibility. But I don't know.
Well, I want to go back to Ethan and
But here's also a thing today is that if you dial 911, you don't have to say anything. They still can pinpoint your location.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's a house, so even if she dialed 911, all they had to do was hear it. They could pinpoint what was, and they would have. That's what still baffles me.
Right. And you know what? If that was the case, they're not letting us know any of that.
Exactly.
We're not, there's no 911. You can tell about the 911 and the DNA. They just know they never were going to give any of that out.
But what's also strange is that there are some students that supposedly knew about these murders that knew about this before the police even got there, which was really strange.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the ones that were at the house. I'm talking ones that weren't anywhere near the house.
Right.
Now that's really bizarre.
Right. I just know that the PCA said that Xana was in the room. And so if anybody was outside the room, it would be Ethan, and that makes sense because he's the defender.
The dog thing still has me baffled, though.
No, I'm not baffled about the dog anymore. I was. But I really think that the reason they left Murphy was just a statement. This dog's life is worth more than these kids.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Another slap in the face.
Yep. We took them, but we saved your dog. We spared your dog.
That it's like rubbing salt in the wound, because
a lot of things
are gonna say,
yeah.
I wish they would have just said the dog was dead too, so I can just feel like they ravished everybody. But in all of this violence and fury and demonic spirits, somebody had the wherewithal to spare a life. So they were very in control of the situation. Nobody was rushing in and out of there, because that's the decision they had to make.
Well, I think what happened that night didn't rush out of there either. I think they took their time, and a lot of people are saying things are starting to surface that it might have been Demetrius and friends.
Right.
Now I can't prove that. I'm just going by what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is rumor.
But they did say that the Wilson family basically runs the town.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard about I did a video on that too. The church.
Yeah.
The church.
Yeah.
He is very influential there. But,
yep.
I mean, I don't think he was concerned with what was going on at 1122 King Road. He doesn't strike me. He wasn't. There's nothing that he's published or been outspoken about in the city to make me feel like, he had animosity towards these kids for their lifestyle or whatever, even though that's how it seemed inside the church. But that's not the same thing.
Right.
I feel like if those kids or even just that neighborhood was on his mind, he would be making public statements or something where you could see how he felt about it. But I didn't see anything like that.
Well, all I'm going to say is that this was 100% planned because they knew somehow she was coming back into town.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get all four of them, not just one of them.
Yeah, well.
But I believe that E and X, I think they were collateral.
Why do you say this?
Because I think the ones that either gone to the authorities or were about to go to the authorities, that was their main. Okay, what I basically think it comes out to be is that there was some serious heavy product in there that was probably disposed of. That was someone was waiting for it, and or a bunch of people were waiting for it, whatever the case may be. And when they couldn't deliver it, that wasn't good right there. So you know where they're going. And
Right.
I just think that when all this was going on, I think that K or M, or probably K the most, maybe even M, but just they had enough, and they said we got to do something about this. We can't deal with this, or we can't take this anymore. And I just think that if they whatever they did, and they got so disgusted, one of them just said, "Okay, see ya," and got rid of all the stuff, and then maybe when it came down to them coming back to pick it up, it wasn't there. All everything broke loose.
Yeah.
And she was somehow lured back to that house because it just doesn't. They knew she was in town somehow, and they waited for this. They don't want to do it right away because it will look too obvious. So they figure, okay, you think you're going to get away with this? No, you're not. And they forgive me for saying, but they got him. And whoever else was there, I just believe that they were collateral. I don't think it was meant for them, but due to the fact that they were there, like I said, no witnesses. I
Well,
still don't believe. I don't believe that D and B were there. I believe that they might have been abducted or taken away or something, and they were coerced and coached what to say. And then when they came back, they basically, I think they know exactly who did all this, and I don't think they were there the whole time this was going on. I don't believe it
yeah. Well, I
because
have something to
yeah.
say about it. I agree with what you're saying. I believe they know exactly what went on.
Hmm.
And so, even if they didn't know exactly when it happened, they found
Right,
out quickly.
right.
I agree. Another thing I would say is the more I hear about Ethan and Xana,
Hmm.
in different positions in the house and stuff, the
Yeah,
the more I feel like uh the more I feel like Dylan should be in, a suspect in
yeah,
custody.
yeah. Well, she kept changing her stories. I mean, first she was on the first floor, then somehow they found out her bedroom was on the first floor. And I remember she wasn't the first because there was an incident where the cop showed up at the house, and there was a female cop, and she looked in the window, and there was no bed. It was 100% vacant. There was nothing in there. And then Bethany's room off to the left. I mean, that was her bedroom. And then we found later on that Dylan was up on the second floor, which I never knew her bedroom was up there. I don't believe that they were in that house, and maybe until at the end, and they've gone back in to pretend like they were there or something like that. Because what she described was your typical description of anybody as an intruder. Think
Everybody
about
is.
it: wearing all dressed in black, wearing a mask. I mean, that's just so common and typical.
Well,
And that, you know what I mean?
well, I agree. And what I'm telling you is, I I don't exonerate Dylan from anything,
No. Oh, I don't either. No.
because if
Yeah.
the reason they wanted us to believe everybody was tucked away asleep, everything happened in those two rooms. The reason
Right.
they're insisting on this fantasy is because
Right.
any other way, Dylan would need to be in jail.
Right. And
Because
it's possible.
we can't prove we can't prove that
They didn't do it.
okay, this is what I don't get about people just being offended about, asking about Dylan. I mean, we
Yeah,
have a
I
reason. We
agree.
have a lot of reasons. If those kids were not in those rooms, if they didn't, if their final resting place was not inside those rooms, then I feel like Dylan should be in custody too. Because if they were anywhere outside of those rooms, when she came out of her room, which she admitted she was in on the second floor, she had to see somebody. If you go through the living room, down the stairs to the front door, she had to see somebody. She had to see him.
See, I think there was like I said, there was a bunch there, about a good, I don't know, between 3 and 5, and maybe even 6. And if she was there, she's just as guilty. I mean, you're hiding in your room, you're letting your friends getting absolutely butchered, mutilated. It just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
right. That's what I'm saying. You're telling us you're insisting that you not only were there, you're awake. I
Yeah,
mean, think about it. The lie just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm not sure who's changing the story, her or law enforcement.
I don't know, but let's just say if they did this, hypothetically speaking, I mean, their hair would be all over them. You know what I mean? They'd have their whatever. They'd have her DNA or strands or something like that would be all. It just doesn't make sense.
I feel like we can't really force their hand with Bethany. If she was on the first floor, it would be hard to prove that she heard, especially Maddie and Kaylee. But and if her bedroom is not directly under Zam's, which I don't believe it is, it's possible that she didn't hear, especially if she was really asleep. But
If she was there, yeah,
her story is I wouldn't trust it. We couldn't even get her story at day one.
right.
So no, I
And
don't care
supposedly,
really.
yeah, supposedly they claim that they both arrived back at the house around 1 o'clock. Bethany and Dylan. That's what they said. And then Ethan and I guess Zayna arrived after, and then I think, and then Katie and Maddie arrived around like 1:56 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I,
The times don't. I just did not take place in no 9 minutes. I think this gone on for at least an hour.
especially if anybody was outside of the room,
Oh, there was
then that
definitely
means they had
there
to
was
be moved.
lookouts. Yeah, there was definitely lookouts. I'll tell you that much.
They had to be moved. All right, they had to be moved, and you know if they put the bodies in the rooms, if I'm sure somebody out of the four was in their room.
Right,
The
and that's
odds
what
of
makes no
all of them
sense.
not being in the room is very low.
Right. When you had those guys in the house, I don't know if they were HVAC guys or those guys that were they looked like one had a cowboy hat on. They were in the middle of the night, and they were up in that. I think if I believe it, if they were up on the third floor on Maddie, but they were constantly in that area that where they were taking pictures, whatever they were doing. You could see them through the window,
Yeah, I saw, but I
and that
just
was interesting. It's like that seemed like that was the heavy part of the crime scene, and that part, at least for them, was up there, not really in the bedrooms.
right,
So,
right.
but I think on the second floor, I think a lot of it took place in the kitchen.
Say what now?
I think on the second floor, I think a lot of that took place in the kitchen.
Yeah, people are saying that the picture with the blood coming down the kitchen cabinets is fake,
Yeah, yeah.
but maybe it's fake, maybe it's not. I don't know. But
But even the
people
blood
early
coming out the
on were
side of that
saying that.
house is baffling to me. Also, I never seen that in my life. Something like that. I mean, is that really blood? Is that paint? Is that supposed to be blood? I mean, even with loose floorboards, I mean, you could just imagine what took place in that house for that to come out like that.
Right.
And
Here's
I'm
one from
I'm not
watching the
talking just
watch.
one shot. I'm talking, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yeah. Well, here's one from watching the watchers. There was also a death in Mississippi, a fraternity boy When was this one? Did he say? Did he say, watching the Watchers, did he say when the fraternity, the young man died in Mississippi? Did he say when? I hadn't heard about that. All right, so I see you there. I turn that music off. All right, so let's see. Trying to see some of these comments. It's happening everywhere all the time, and it's frightening. I agree, Bridget. I mean, it had me so depressed when I heard that these, and now it's not only did 4 more lose their lives, but a teacher did it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I made a tape on, what's the deal, trying to give you the game with these public schools. I think I got about 30 views.
Probably people are start just taking class online from now on.
Huh?
They're gonna start just doing online classes from now on.
I was trying to tell them, this thing is real.
Yeah.
It's like Russian roulette, sending your kids to university.
Yeah.
And then we were just complaining. What's up, Micah Z? Listen, it's the same thing. We were complaining about the teacher sleeping with the students.
Yeah.
This man is the teacher, and he's killing the students. So if that's how he felt about the students, he can't be the only one.
He was a coward. He killed them. And he took his own life because he couldn't face it head on.
All right, Robert K. Listen, for him to shoot students, and he's a teacher.
Yeah.
They'll let you know what he felt about all university students. He can't be the only one.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So if he lost it 3 or 4 days ago, why so hard to believe that the professor at Pullman should be a suspect?
It's a possibility.
He should have been a suspect because everybody's looking at the frat and who was fighting with Ethan. Well, who was fighting with Brian Kohlberger, his teacher?
Right. But what was his motive be? What would the professor's motive? Yeah. And let's say if the professor had something to do with that, what would his motive be with those 4 unalive?
There might not be his first rodeo.
Yeah, that's true.
He been in the streets locking people up and stuff.
A lot of holes in Moscow. There's a lot of holes in Moscow. There's a lot of holes in Pullman.
He might have got an appetite for, violence just from being a police, detective, whatever he was doing. If you do something enough, you get an appetite for it.
Yeah.
But
well, it's an addiction, yeah.
I mean, he was giving BK grief from day one. They were arguing over some months. When somebody's arguing over some months, it's a beef there.
Yeah. Agree.
You got to report in September. You got to report in November. You got to report in December. This is over some months that these people can't get along or get together, and whatever the problem is, get it straight.
Very true.
So he should have been a suspect from day one. But instead of being a suspect, everybody's looking at Moscow. I mean, it's both of them, really. As far as I'm concerned, it's all one school because of how close together they are. And neither one of them is doing anything big, exciting, or special above the other. So it's all the same school to me.
Something was also brought up, was up on YouTube. I caught it. They were just saying that did all 4 of them know that this possibly could happen to them? and they were just like brushing it off or thinking it would be just, oh, it's just a rumor, and they didn't really pay attention to it, or did something prior to this really sink into their heads, like, this is not good or something, or because no one really knows what those text messages were on Kaylee's phone when she was over at the food truck. If you
Right.
remember that, she was really focused in deep on her phone, and she looked pretty worried. And she wanted to get out of there or something as quick as possible. So I don't know, but yeah, something definitely transpired from that to that, something with those text messages or something. Of
Do
course, they
you?
were never revealed because, again, there's a gag order,
Yeah. When
which
you
isn't
watch
right.
the, do you
Yeah,
watch when you watch the Grub Truck
yeah,
and the corner? Well,
yeah,
Main Street. When you
right.
when you watch those, do you get the feeling that not Maddie, but Kaylee was intoxicated?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, a little bit, but Maddie looked more like the one that was really intoxicated because even when she was walking to the grub truck with, I forget what's his name, from the corner club, she looked pretty like staggering going down the sidewalk.
Hmm.
But Katie looked like she was a little bit herself, but I mean, she was talking and then Maddie had words with someone, and then she told them off. But Katie was so focused in her phone, and you could tell she was worried about something.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin. We have a $20 super
And
sticker
they
for
got
the
out of there
day.
really quick. They weren't hanging out there. Like a lot of people were there hanging out and socializing. I mean, they wanted to get there and get out of there as quick as possible. You saw how they turned that corner really quick, and they were gone.
Right. Well,
Unless she
thank you,
was maybe,
Robin.
yeah,
I'm trying to give her a shout out for the $20 super sticker. It says, "Great to see y'all here tonight. Thanks for coming. Thank you, HT. You are most welcome, ma'am." And I'm
yes,
trying to put it on the screen.
the
I may
holidays are
have
coming, and things are good.
gotten too
Yes,
far.
right. But I do believe that there's a very significant thing from that food truck prior to when they arrived at the house.
I cannot find this sticker to put it on the screen. I don't see it,
They
Robin.
should make a Davino sticker or something.
Oh yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Davino is gonna have to earn a sticker.
No, I will. Like I said, the holidays they're here, but they're not here yet. Like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks out from Christmas, you'll see. Um, then you can advertise it on there.
Okay.
And there you go.
Hold on.
But they should have a Davino sticker with the Italian flag, maybe like a pizza or a chef hat or something like that. There you go.
What? What? Why do
And they
you
could.
need all of that?
It's a joke, and it could
No,
just
it's
say
not.
Abundan. It could just say Abundanza. There you go.
No, you're not joking. You
I
need
am
that
joking.
sticker. I
No, I
believe
don't want that. I'm
I
kidding
believe
with you.
you
I
want
don't.
that sticker.
No, I don't. No, no. It's good.
You can order a heart truth sticker and put it on your refrigerator.
Okay. All right. That's good to
So
know.
there'll be some evidence of me in New York.
That's not good. Heck no. We'll hold off on that. That's all right. It's
Just
all good.
order a sticker
Where do I order
and put
from?
it on your refrigerator. And I can say, "Oh, pardon me, it's in New York."
God, oh God, no. But where do I order from?
Uh, the store down under the videos, I think.
Okay, I'll look into it. All right.
All right, Robin. I always thought Maddie told Adam something about Kate leaving, etc., and that Kate spent her time at the grub truck texting JD, then calling him at home as well, and maybe they got in an argument. Well,
That
that's a good
that guy
point.
still has me baffled, though. I don't know.
because Robin, they, I'm confused about Kaylee's plans because I mean, if she was going to go to her job in Texas, go on some trip to Europe, if she was going to do these things, then why didn't her parents say anything like when she went back to 1122, it was to say goodbye and everything because she was leaving. They said she went to show her truck, but they didn't say anything about Kaylee's plans beyond that.
Yeah, that
So
doesn't
I'm
make
wondering,
any sense.
is
Yeah.
this rumor? I'm
I'm
just
going to start a
saying,
job, but I'm going to go take a trip to Europe, backpack, whatever the case may be. It almost sounds like something out of a movie. And then basically, it just doesn't make sense.
all right.
Why would you want to take a trip to Europe before you start a job? That's weird. You're trying to save money as much as possible.
I think I got another sticker from Robin. I see it this time. Let me see if I can post it.
They are dear.
I can't keep up with you.
Of a blue Christmas without you.
Let me just put thank you, Robin, on the screen because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get where I'm going. All right, so we're still talking about Maddie and Kaylee, Ethan and Xana. We've already
Yeah.
talked about them moving from one place to the other, and now we have to talk about something that y'all might not want to talk about. But I feel like we need to go there, even if we have to come back here. And that is my experiment and the fact that one person could have done it according to the time clock. Huh?
Well, I mean, it's possible, but what I'm saying is that for a person to do this would have to be so. I mean, yeah. The only thing that baffles me, here's how I don't believe one person did this. When I think what's her name was stabbed 57 times. I mean, that takes a lot of stamina, endurance out of anybody to do something like that. Really, it does. That's why I have a hard time believing one person did it. It's just, now if it was like one, 1, 2 here, there, yeah, that I could believe that, but no way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
and also the the wounds didn't match. I know what Whatchamacallit said last time is she cut herself and it did get deeper. I understand that, but those are completely two different wounds versus the other ones. I mean, the gouges were, and then of course one person is not going to take. Forgive me for saying an organ or whatever they took as a trophy. That made no sense either. So, you know, I unless it
Well,
has
I can
something to do with
understand what you're saying,
something
but
with the black market, I don't know, but I'm just saying it just doesn't add up.
no, it
I
doesn't.
still believe that they were ambushed. I think that when they got back there, that either X and they might have been already been tied up. I don't. I think that's what happened, and I think that they just walked in and they were waiting for them, and from there. But I did not. I don't believe this was 9 minutes. No way.
That's what everybody's saying. But the point of the matter is, it could have been. It could have been. It could have
Yeah,
been one
you're right.
person.
It could have
We
been.
can't just erase it. At first,
But
I thought 9 minutes is not that much time. So, how likely is it somebody came and rushed and did all of that and left? How would they know they would be able to do all of that, in that amount of time? But it could have been done.
it's possible. And if they were all drunk or they were all inebriated, yeah. I mean, you have no balance. I mean, that is definitely a strong possibility. They all like to party. We all know that.
Well, There was another part of my video that I made today, which I might make a part 2. All right, so as well get ready for it. I'm just saying you
College
have
people
to
party.
protect
That's a party town.
you have to protect your family members
Yeah.
because people are just no good. It's some people that's just no good,
Yeah.
and it might take you a while to find it out.
Yeah. I still believe that Jack D, the ex, I just something about him that still doesn't ring with me right.
Yeah, that's what Les said. And here's Annie Ruler. I feel JD knew what was going down. Murphy was his possession. Matter of fact, I believe he got out that night. Later, they tried getting him back in. If no body cam from First Cops PCA lines, in my opinion.
Yeah, those guys were cleared way, way too fast.
Gracias.
You don't hear about JS. You don't hear about JD no more. It just does. Those are the things that are really a mystery.
Well, JD is back on the list because, for the simple fact, one person could have done it. Once I saw that, he was back on the list.
That's what I was thinking that's the first thing I thought from the get-go was him. Before you even came on with your channel.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
When I saw the time, I was like, somebody could have. And
because he lived right next door. His apartment was right there. It was right across from their house. He lived with Adam, remember? Remember you shared the apartment with Adam?
Right.
Right. So he could just step right over, done all this, and maybe even Adam could have who knows? Maybe I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Something popped over there.
What? Are you making?
No, I am.
You be blue in the
I was trying to see these things for Robin. I can see them on one computer.
Oh.
But I can't see them on this one, and I was just wondering why.
Blue Christmas.
And so, here's my thing. If one person could have done it, that put Brian back on the list. If he was ever off, that put Jack D back on the list because of his vibe. But I wanted to go back to a question that I asked before, and that was, why didn't Kaylee's family mention her trips and her job and her plans? Why didn't they say when she went back to 1122, it was farewell because she was going to do this and she was going to do that. They said the reason she went there is because she bought that truck and to show it to Maddie.
Right. Which still makes no sense.
So I don't understand why
you drive 90 miles to go show your SUV or whatever she had, her Land Rover. That just doesn't that how about just send a picture and just show it to her? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, think about that. Why would you drive 90 miles to go all the way back to show them your new car? You could just take a picture from your phone while you're standing in your parents' drive or whatever the case may be. I mean, that just says it all. I know that's what I would have done if that were me.
They're driving around in the truck now.
Who is?
The dad.
I thought he got rid of that car.
He was filmed inside drive. He was being interviewed while he was driving her truck.
That's creepy.
I can understand why I would want to just, grab my backpack and just go country hop,
But not before you start a job.
I mean, it just depends on what your money situation is. But she could
that's what I'm saying. If she was in a good financial status, it's one thing.
Before she started her job.
Yeah, but did she buy it straight out, pay the whole thing off, or was she still making payments?
She bought a truck before she started her job, a nice truck. I don't care what year it is. A Rover is a Rover.
Yeah, a Land Rover. Yeah, but did she buy it outright, or did she
I'm
finance
sure
it?
she put money down because the family had a GoFundMe saying help them finish paying for the truck. But that could have been a con too. She might have
That
paid
thing.
cash for
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
That right there could have been a con. But
Was she pregnant? That was another rumor?
wherever she was, she had the money to take care of it.
Yeah.
I doubt if she would have left. If she couldn't have been pregnant because she wouldn't have left Jack D in Corner Club and just walk away and go on about her business if she was pregnant. He
That's
had to
the other
get up.
mystery.
He'd had
Yeah.
to get up and let's take it outside to your apartment or whatever. We can argue or whatever. Unless you just
Right.
want to be embarrassed in front of your friends. If she was pregnant, he would have had to get on up from there.
Right. Did she break up with him, or did he break up with her?
I would put my money on he's the one that broke up with her.
Now that's interesting because I thought he was obsessed with her.
No, I told you
Hmm.
that. I expect he broke up with her. I expect that once she got
Why?
to school, it's a bunch of guys around too, just like it's a bunch of new girls, it's new guys,
College. I mean,
Help me out, ladies, in the chat. It's I'm just saying, it's new guys. When you go to college, and I know they was, hitting that Kaylee. She was in Moscow and Pullman hanging out. So she was meeting people and whatever, but she struck
well,
me as
there's
the type
motive
to
right
like to get
there.
money.
There's motive right there.
She was the type to try to get money, and it could have been doing some anything. Like I said, she bought the truck before she started her job. She made her plans to go to Europe. Evidently, she had the money to pay for it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that if you broke up with her and she was, messing around on him, I'm just saying,
Well, why
I don't
would a
know.
guy break up with somebody after 5 years? Because he feels like she's been out there doing
But
something
that's what
that he
I'm
didn't
saying.
like.
Maybe she was lying to him for a while and he found. I don't know. And they
No,
could bring people to a breaking point. That's a possibility too.
if you get with somebody and then they start looking like money,
Yeah.
they're out there doing something. And
Maybe
both
she
of
had an
y'all are
OnlyFans
students.
that was a lot more provocative type
Yeah, you
of
start looking like it.
material.
And so,
Well, that makes sense. I mean, if she
of
was
course,
putting that type of material out there and he found that out, that's a possibility too.
yeah, he seemed pretty laid back, pretty
Yeah.
conservative guy. And so
Yeah.
he's not gonna want to hear. You know how your friends do. They're not gonna just tell you they saw your girl on OnlyFans. They're gonna show you her on OnlyFans.
They're gonna show you everything that they've seen. Yeah.
And he probably, man, I don't, it's no coming back from that. Depending
Right.
on
I
how
agree
risque.
100%, and that would make sense why someone would break up with someone like that, unless they were
Yeah,
in
you'll
that.
be gone.
Yeah.
I know I would.
I would be gone. Say, see ya.
I would be gone if it wasn't even OnlyFans. If
You
I
can
saw
have
that
you can have them all. See ya. I'm out of here.
if I saw that this person had so many people in their phones and their social media in their lives at the same
Yeah.
time, they don't even have to be on one of these OnlyFans or whatever. Just having too much going on, is enough.
Mhm.
That's
I'm
that's
looking at
enough right
Micah.
there.
Yeah. I'm looking at Micah. He said, "How does blood get on the top of the cabinet?" Hmm.
Well, you
Cast
made me
off,
lose
maybe.
you made me
Cast
lose
off.
my train of thought because you changed the subject on me, and I didn't know you were gonna do that.
I'm sorry.
No, I
Okay, I'm
don't
not
believe
sorry.
you. When you say I'm sorry, I just don't believe you. I don't know. I just had this feeling. Whenever Davino says I'm sorry, do not believe it. And then
Okay,
when he does something where he should say he's sorry and he
I don't.
doesn't, now that's where
No.
you need to pay attention. This,
Um, we'll leave
but
that for another
anyway,
another conversation some other time.
yeah, and some other place.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, what's up, Chief? Micah, yeah, not sure how blood would fly up like that in the kitchen. See, they're talking about the cabinets. You must be
Cast
reading the
off.
comments.
Cast off.
Here's one
Cast
for
off.
you.
Yeah.
Here's one for you from Annie. Davino, Z-bar flashing to but two siding panels on top of each other. Blood must have gone over the rail. Oh.
Z bar? What?
I don't know, Annie. That's kind of strange what you're saying.
Flashing to butt to side panels on top of each other. I don't
Oh
even
my
get that one at
goodness.
all.
We're gonna have to move along. All right. I'm not sure what you meant. Can you
Me
rewrite
either.
it, Annie, so we can repost it? Watching the
Yes.
Watchers. October 17th, Walker Fielder, a junior from Madison, Mississippi, was killed and another student. Oh, Blanche Williamson, a sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina, was seriously injured after. Oh, okay. This was October 17th, 2022. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Now, see, all this going on at the same time, y'all people, hey, you better listen. Kids being sacrificed in so many different ways. Sex trafficking, molesting them before they get out of high school so they're sexually confused. Even
Mm.
if they don't use drugs, they won't even know. That's where all these gender pronouns coming from. They don't even know which pronoun they are. They're coming up with one to describe, their individual personalities. And look how many of them there are. And now you got the teacher gunning down the students,
Mm.
students gunning down the students, somebody stabbing the students. This is a problem. This is a moral problem. This is a humanity survival problem.
Mm.
This is a problem. This is bigger than, you know, the problems in a novel. This is real life. It's not Dostoevsky. This happened for real. Where we live. And so I just have a heart for the kids. Because grown people can take care of themselves. Okay?
Mm.
And it's a lot of grown people that don't act right. And they're not going to act right. But kids still have a chance if you have patience with them. And some of them they don't even have a chance just from the environments that they're in. And it's like people don't care. They don't care. I mean, how can you say you're a true crime sleuth or investigator or you a true crime fan, but you don't really care about the victims? You just excited about the stories. Because I mean, when I read about Nevada, that hurt me to my heart. I was like, I just thought about the parents and I was like, we got them lined up like death row. The victims' families. We can fill up a school bus with victims' families just from the past year.
Yeah. True.
And everybody's not taking this stuff laying down. Some of these people will come blow your brains out or burn up a building or
But
bomb
see.
a building. And they feel like you did something to their kids.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point.
I mean, that's the way I see it. Kids, they deserve a chance. The first 10 years, if you
But
can't
see,
guard them from some things and give them a chance, to be propped up for a minute before they take the training wheels off, I mean, everybody
right
deserves
there.
that.
Exactly. Because it seems to me in this world today where when something happened, let's say what happened up in Maine, in Lewiston, Maine, that massacre happened in the bowling alley. And then, okay, that was the biggest thing on the news. And then things died down. So then people's guards start to come back down again. And
Right.
then something else happens. It's like, it almost seems like today in our society, you have to have your guard up 100, 24/7. Because once it starts to come down, that's how things start to come through. And
Well, it's interesting that you said that because the guard you need to have up is a spiritual guard.
right,
The rest of them don't work. You have to have a spiritual guard up.
yep,
And it comes through prayer. You have to keep it up through prayer. It's not funny because the Bible said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and things in high places. And for 4 kids to be mutilated like
yeah,
this in
yeah,
Idaho, you know, there's some stuff going on in those high places. These kids are being sacrificed.
Yep.
whether it's shot, stabbed, kidnapped, or whatever, they're being used as sacrifices. And if
It
if you have a
it's yeah.
son, you can your son, you can say, go on over to the military, pick up a gun, and they might come home and they might not. I feel
Yep.
like you sacrificing your kids when you do that. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Some of them need to be in the military. But that's not the only thing. But when you don't have a choice, you went to school instead of the military, and you came back the same way as this lady's son that went somewhere and had a gun.
Yeah.
So this keeps happening. It's not just incidents, anymore. It's a norm. And I mean, bodies are piling up. Only reason why it doesn't seem as intense as maybe the violence in the Ukraine is because they're showing us pictures of Buka with bodies sticking out of the sand. They're showing us the train station and telling us it was kids in there. They're showing us raw how the violence really is. But over here in the United States, you got a state over here is going over there, but they're not integrating these stories together and showing us one big picture and showing us this problem and the magnitude of it. But common sense, if something keeps happening, something's got to change. When the CD starts skipping, you get up and do what? You change it. This is what I this is how I feel about it. It's too many of these kids in university that's being mowed down like grass. And to me, it's part of a movement. That is something they're trying to prevent. Whenever they go on in one demographic like that, it's just one demographic, university students.
You're saying they like the chaos, they like the turmoil, they like all that because it brings media.
It's more to it than that, It's more to it than that. Because once you got a demographic, a specific population, all university students, that's a demographic. Then once you got that, then somebody is structured now. Now we have to say somebody's planning this, there's somebody behind this. It's not random.
It's like a
Because
criminal
now we have a
mastermind.
population of people and it keeps happening in the same demographic. We know what's behind violence in the hood, in the black hood, or not just black, Mexican hood, Puerto Rican
Yeah.
hood. We know
Yeah.
what's driving that.
Yeah.
What's driving these university students being violently losing their lives violently. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, how much harder do they have to knock on the door? How much harder do they have to bang on the door than for a 67-year-old teacher to come turn around and kill the students? And then they telling us it's because he didn't get a job. To me, it's because of the job he's already had. Because they call him a professor, so he's already taught before.
Yeah.
And so he did that out of how he felt about students. But they're trying to tell us it was about a job, or maybe they're trying to tell us something. Because they were saying that Brian Kohlberg, remember, was salty about not getting a job with the police. We don't have evidence of that. But it's possible that he could have had a job with, it's possible that he the professor, they were getting ready to swap him out. Because I did a video. Let me show you a picture of it. Maybe you guys will remember. But it's still buffering over here. Let me hold off on that because I have to dig it out over here. But I'll show you the picture. The name of the video is Chaotic or Psychotic, I believe. Well, I was talking about the professor and we looked at his reviews from the students. Remember that? And the students were saying he's a great guy, but he's behind the times as a teacher. I had every reason to believe that they were getting ready to trade him out for a new model. So that young energy, he's an old horse. It's time for him to retire him and bring in some new young blood. You know how these companies do. You're 67 and somebody come on the scene that's 28. I mean, do the math. You know the 67-year-old's on his way out. And it might have been the same way with Brian and his professor. That man could have set him up.
That's a
We might have
possibility.
two separate problems to solve. Who set Brian up and who did it? It might be two totally separate problems. What you say about that, dude?
So you're saying that Brian's professor possibly might have set him up in this whole matter, and you think that possibly that the professor could be behind this entire thing?
I think at best the professor
But
is
what
the
would
one
his
that
motive
turned
be?
Brian in. That's what I think. I think he could even be the confidential informant.
Well, that's a possibility because he
I
was never
do.
mentioned up as an informant. Yeah.
I do believe it. And so, hold on. I'm gonna give y'all a well. I don't know why I don't like this. I don't like this screen. I gotta fix this. I don't have to fix it right now. I don't like stuff like that. Okay, well, I feel like the professor is a suspect. He was arguing with Brian. He had motive to turn him in. He knew him. He was close to him. He knew about the girls accusing him. The professor could have had something to do with the girls accusing him. You know how dirty the game is.
Yep.
So I feel like he could be the one that sent the police over there and told them, go ahead and run his car. He could have just been the one that brought up that Brian Coburn. Hey, he's got they could have been the lounge at work where it's supposed to be all funny. Hey,
Yeah.
Brian Coburn's got a white Elantra. See what I'm saying? And then now all of a sudden, everybody looking at each other like, are we really gonna go there? Turn this guy in? For fun. And maybe they felt like it was just a joke, I don't like him. Better get him out my face. I can come back to work next year. And then once they got Brian in custody, he couldn't come up with an alibi.
Well, you find that funny?
He couldn't cut. They struck gold.
All right, so let's say if he is the informant on this, what do you think? You think he has any tie? Did he have any tie with those students?
It's possible it could have gone further to him actually being involved, just like this man just shot 4 students. He's then any professor at WSU is capable of shooting 4 students or mutilating or having somebody else do it.
Possible.
He's capable. We just found out a few days ago that these professors, after 20 or 30 years, they're smiling. Oh, I'm about to retire. They tell everybody when they're about to retire, okay, just do it. If you're going to do it, I'm about to retire.
But what would their motive be?
Up like they're real happy. But in the back of their mind, doing all those years affected them. You can't tell me you could be a correction officer in a prison for 20 or 30 years and it doesn't affect your mind. So being a professor, being a teacher, I'm still trying to recover from the years I taught. And that was just a high school.
Yeah.
So imagine dealing with these grown, just out of the house from their parents, drunken kids, because they're not partying with Budweiser and weed anymore. It's fentanyl now.
So like I said, the heavy stuff, yeah. Yep. And these people don't care whoever takes it, whatever happens to them. They just care about their profit, and that's it.
Yeah, and we need to talk about
that is so true.
Robert K. saw a video about cops in Washington making kids take informant gigs for minor drug possession, ended badly a few times. Well,
I saw that.
When we read the police reports for Moscow, when we read those, they said themselves that Pullman was turning the, informants in Moscow. It said that in the report. So, I mean, it's like you saying the same thing. That video is saying the same thing as the police reports. Well, it's nasty now. And it's too many of these kids in university level probably did their work in school and they did enough to get admitted into a school. I think they deserve better than this.
Oh, they do, 100%. And it just
You
seems to me
know.
that everyone in this town has their hands in it somehow.
All right. Bridget B, the amount of deaths at WSU2, the numbers are insane. It's great. It's a graveyard of sorts. Dark to say, but it's the truth between the drugs and the hazing. You know, you're right,
Well,
Bridget.
Hazen's always going to go on in universities and frats and sororities, and it's a shame, but it's the truth. Um, but it's gotten way out of hand.
All right, I found your ticket, Robin. Thank you. So I can put my banner back on for the international viewers. We forgot to say hello to the international viewers and everybody that will watch on replay. Such a large part of the channel.
Hmm.
Okay, there you go. And thank you so much again, Robin. We love you. Okay, what were you saying, Dorina?
No, I was just saying about Hazen. It's really gotten way out of hand when it comes
But
to these frats and these sororities, and they're not even thinking about the um, whatchamacallit, the God, I can't think of it now. When they're not thinking about the pledges' feelings or what could happen to them. It's all about, hey, this is it, take it or leave it. But
right,
I'm not
right.
responsible. I'm not. No, and this is exactly how they think today. It was a lot different back when I was in college, but it was nothing like it is today. It's really gotten way out of hand,
Right, right.
and they look out for one another. So if someone's in trouble or they protect someone, they'll do it, whether they're guilty or not. They'll do it.
Okay. Well, the point that I'm trying to make is, and I might need to just open this up over here. There it is. I want to give y'all a poll right quick. Just see yes or no. Okay, there's the question. Should the WSU professor, Brian's professor, be a suspect? And I'll give y'all a few minutes on that. Shout out to Terry Slew. Good to see you. Oh, I'm listening, sir. Davino,
Yes.
I said I'm listening.
Oh no, I'm done. Now it's your you have the microphone.
It's you on the mic.
No, I was just talking about the Hazen, and I was just saying how things got way out of hand, and these sororities and fraternities will protect their brothers and sisters to the end. It doesn't matter what they did. Is as crazy as it may sound, or what they've done, they'll back them, and that's true.
Yeah. Well,
And it's I mean that can go so deep, and unfortunately it is the way it is in these because they tried to really crack down on these hazing and pledging and all that, and they don't really seem they've done a very good job of it.
yeah. Shout out to American Princess. I
I haven't
see
heard
you.
from her in
Good
a
to see
while.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hazing and all of the other mess that they do
Hmm.
on these campuses is rowdy. It's
Yeah.
it's distasteful,
Yep.
not elegant, but it's not the same thing as killing somebody.
Right.
That's just, I mean,
I hope they got it wasn't like no initiation or something like that. But I mean, I don't see. I pray to God that wasn't the case.
all right, shout out to Hiroshima. You got great timing. You can take the poll. You might have to scroll back up a little bit.
Take the
Good to see
pole.
you.
Take the pole.
All right, so I'm saying, I feel like this. It's too many, I keep saying the same thing, but it's too many of these university students losing their lives. And they just have a memorial. And have any of them been solved, where they don't kill the shooter? I don't know.
Mm,
So, do they ever get solved? Unless
I
it's
don't
a
know
serial
either.
killer.
I don't
All
know.
right, I see you. You can scroll up to the top and you'll see the poll, towards the top. I don't know how high it is on your screen. All right, but I think that as rowdy as the fraternities might get, it is what it's. I mean, that's what they go to college for, to do at the drink and
Yeah.
stuff. But they should be able to do that. We were able to do it
Yeah.
without having to worry about somebody dying. We had
Right.
one person
That's
died,
it. Right there. You said it. Yeah.
but he was in a club.
Yeah.
Mass murder and serial killing. I mean,
Take the time to be so blue and have a blue Christmas. For you. I have no idea where the volume is gone. We lost your signal in the Barolo. You guys are a bunch of monkeys. You're monkey bears. Oh, that's what it's gotta be. Alright. I know. Still can't hear her volume though. What is going on with her volume? Good night, everybody.
And have a mama Christmas. I heard about that too, or something. Even heard Maddie told Ian it had to stop, or she was, yeah, something like that. Now that wouldn't be fair to them if that were the case.
Okay, can anybody hear me? I think I fixed it. Whatever trick that was, it didn't work. Gotta have a lot of computer screens these days. Because people always hacking. There. Now I hear myself, so I know y'all hear me. Ah, we got it back. The sabotage didn't work. All right, let's go. Now listen. Where were we in the topic? I'm gonna have to share my screen on this one. Boy, I tell you. Hold on, let me oh, I can't share my screen on this one. I have to share over here. Where everything is red. I reset the Wi-Fi over there, so I'll be able to share it in a minute. All right, so basically what we're talking about here, let me look on my paper. I can at least do that. How many of you all have pretty much decided that Brian Koberger shouldn't even be on the list? How many of you? I should take this poll down. Let me see. Should WSU professor be suspect? 70% said yes. Let me write that. Well, I don't have time. All right, I'm going to end that one because I'm going to give you another one. I want to know, since we know that this could have been, more than one person, start the poll. All right. Have you cleared Brian Koberger completely off the list of suspects for these Idaho 4 crimes? You don't even look at him anymore. Wow. 100%. Now, don't you know, a lot of people probably, okay, this is what I mean. Lisa Thompson says, Brian should not know evidence. Does the fact that they don't have evidence, is that enough to clear somebody? Not have enough evidence, is that enough to clear somebody? I mean, are you saying they have some evidence? Are you saying they have some evidence or are you saying no evidence? Okay, so you don't feel like he has they don't have any evidence on Brian Koberger. Huh? Miss Cindy, I don't see him as a suspect. Well, it seems like a lot of people have pretty much written Brian Koberger off. You know? Seems like they have written him off and he's no longer a suspect in any of your books, is he? Unless evidence appears. BK involved in the conspiracy, possible but definitely not the knife attacker. Well, I just don't believe he was in that house. I don't feel like they have proved that. I really don't. I really feel like uh, he was never in the house. I could be wrong because if one person can go in there in 9 or 10 minutes and get on out of there, there may not have been a lot of his DNA all over the place. But that doesn't mean he hadn't been in there. And so I just want to keep an open mind. I don't believe he was been, from what I know, I don't believe he was ever in 1122 King Road. I'm trying to get my Mac back here because, I mean, it's acting crazy too. Everything just started acting crazy at the same time. Isn't that a coincidence? But me and my iMac been together for a long time. I know it. So we're gonna be sharing the screen in a minute. All right. Hiroshima. I worked all my life counseling. Hold on. Counseling people in prisons. Chemical substances were involved in their crimes 90% of the time. I mean, we can't overlook that either. And that's the only connection that I can see between Brian Koberger and this case, is if he was in Moscow looking for drugs. %90 of the time. Imagine that. All right, let's see if we can share. Here it is right here. All right, Idaho. This is the video I was talking about. It's called Koberger Psychotic Break or Casualty of Power. And this one is members only, but I'm going to open it back up. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. It's talking about the professor, and it's talking about his relationship with Brian Koberger. And I even did reviews from that professor's students to determine, how they felt about him. And I'm telling you what it said. I want you to think about that after this live tonight, that 4 students. What am I? I was editing. Hold on just a second. This video here, I'm getting ready to open it up. So it's not members only. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do, because it's talking about the relationship between Brian and his professor, and it's showing articles about their spats. And it's also showing the reviews from the students. I think this is the one. Okay, what did I say I was changing? I was making it public. That's right. All right, here we go. Okay. No. I don't know why I shouldn't have done that. Well, either way, I opened it back up. And so when you get a chance, you can check on about the professor. But let's get back to our discussion. Lisa Thompson, I am saying there is no real evidence. I am from Missouri. Show me state, suspect, whatever, but in jail facing death penalty. All right, let me ask you this, Lisa. if you were in jail for, let me give y'all an example first. I was at a friend's house years ago in Jacksonville, Florida. You know, Duval County is, uh, but anyway, when I got over there, I didn't know they had a snake, but he was in an aquarium, like I my fish aquarium, but it was no fish or water in there. It was a snake, and I was very uncomfortable because every time I looked over there, the snake was raised up, trying to find a crack up there in the lid so he can get up out of there. And even though the top was on the aquarium, I just felt like, it's a chance he might find a crack and then he's going to be in here with me and I'm going to freak out. And so I freaked out for him just being in the aquarium. Okay. And so what I'm saying is, when you cage somebody in, whether it's an animal or a human being, there's a natural tendency to want to um, be free again, right? One way or the other, if you didn't want to be caught, you're gonna be trying to get free. That's just human nature. And so, for somebody that hadn't been the type to have a criminal record, to be arrested in the manner that he was, and then for him to do this time and even be willing to sit there and watch his attorney prepare the case for appeal in the event that they lose the first verdict, for him to have already counted the cost and realized how long he could be in there, he's taking it rather well. Because even the snake has sense enough to know he needs to get out. He's got to find some way out of this situation, because I'm a snake. I really don't belong in here. So let me find a place, a crack somewhere where I can get out. So if an animal has that instinct and somebody takes you and puts you in a 4x4 cell, you're gonna want to get out. He's just taking it so well. And that's something that bothers me. What do you think about that? I'm just being honest. I'm not bashing. I'm not going on a Koberger rant because I don't know this young man. Maybe he is innocent. Maybe he is. But that bothers me. I was waiting to be stoned. I don't even want to know, watching the watchers. I don't even want to know. All right? Many people like, ooh, with that DP, so if there is nothing more than this sketchy mess, I would have quit him. I don't think they have any intentions of doing that. Do you? Unless it's all a bunch of what? BS. I'm streaming the wrong video. All right, let's go back to some things. Let's go back here for a minute. All right? Listen to this and let me know what you think. I'll make it a little bigger. All right, here it is. Pretty much agree with all of the above. No way to know for sure until trial. And even then, we may not know, but your speculation sounds pretty logical. Another user commented, I think DK saw the DoorDash order being delivered, that whole exchange. No way he wasn't scouting that door before going in, studying movement. Saw XK plan to kill her too. I think he was aiming to kill MM and XK, but ended up killing the other two as collateral damage. And then a third stated, I believe it actually was reported a few days ago on more specific details, that EC was killed in the doorway with a slash throat immediately, and XK had major defensive wounds so badly her fingers were almost off her hands. This was reported from News Nation sometime last week. Now, what about that rumor? We've been hearing that for a while that Ethan's neck was slashed and he was immediately like almost decapitated. So now it's something different. You know? Let me see what Robert had on that, on BK. Let me see. I must have passed it. Okay, here it is. Okay, Robert said, I totally agree with you, HT. He is taking the time like a champ. It bothers me too. Why? How? I'm just saying it's the natural tendency. But somebody that's had their freedom and all of a sudden they're bound to get loose. Unless he feels comfortable there around other inmates. I mean, they seem right at home. But they're telling us that this guy doesn't have a criminal record. He may have been in the jail for a couple of hours and let out on his own recognizance for taking his sister's phone. Some people won't even take you to jail for that if it's your sister. Y'all just have to work that out. I'm talking about something that where he would have had to spend some time in jail. And he's never, and y'all are saying he's never been arrested and actually did time. How is he just sitting up in a county in another state where he doesn't know anybody? He doesn't have family there to visit him. And this case is turning into something that he could lose and just have to appeal. Excuse me. And he seems fine with that. He seems just absolutely fine. Is that normal to you? I mean, what am I missing? Am I being insensitive or not giving them enough credit or whatever? Because there's a lot of innocent people in prison. Be honest. There's a lot of innocent people in prison. So you know if he did it, he's going. That's what I'm saying. Having been an advocate for prisoner in court, they are coached to exude confidence, calmness, neutrality in court. And so, I don't know. That's just too calm. I'm talking about in the beginning. Somebody said you killed 4 people and you didn't do it. I haven't seen any emotion from Brian Coburn. Nothing but smugness, a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of playing craziness, like he doesn't really know. He doesn't really know what what he wants to do. Do I want to come and tell these people everything I know about this, or do I just want to say I have no clue, plead the fifth, and let them figure it out? I think maybe that may be where he is right now. He might be medicated. Yeah, we said that too, but medicated on what? Because I think he seems more alert at times than others. I'll say that. He seems more alive. I mean, more, alert from one day to the next. Sometimes he's like laser sharp focus, it seems like, in the courtroom. And sometimes I don't know if he's even there. Like when he was yawning, that blew my mind. I mean, I'd be scared to yawn in court. Somebody accused me of being a killer. That should upset me. I would be looking around nervous, terrified, you know. All right, let's go down a little bit further and then I'll check and see what else we have to talk about. All right, Robin Latham or Lisa Thompson. Introvert can handle time alone, probably finishing his thesis. If he is innocent, he knows who, probably solved it with his new programs. He knows who, probably solved it with his new programs. Well, I'm an introvert. I love to be on the inside. But being on the inside of my house where I can go around anywhere in the house that I want to go and being in jail, that's two totally different things, Lisa. It's not just being locked in that cell. You got correctional officers talking to you like you're a piece of trash. You know, you're going to, depending on, I guess, the facility, the quality of the food, but it's not going to be good. It's different if you're at home by yourself. You don't have to put up with the foolishness, because you're at home. You can leave home. Even though you're an introvert, you're home because you want to be, but if you wanted to leave home, you could leave. I'm talking about not being able to leave, like on these programs where the person gets arrested. What's the first thing they say? Um, can I leave now? In the interrogation room, I want to go home. Can I leave now? They realize they need to be trying to get up out of there. I don't understand his calmness. But at the same time, even though these crimes could have been committed in 9 minutes, I don't necessarily believe that they were. I still feel that there's more than one person involved, at least three. Shout out to Tell It to L. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, L. Yeah, I wouldn't. I just don't put stuff past people like that. Now, Cindy Abbott, $10. Lisa, Tell It to L. Okay, hi y'all. Don't interrupt. Finally caught y'all. So good to see you. Glad you're back on deck. All right, let's go to our expert, Cindy, Miss Cindy, for her experience in the corrections. Also understand he is in jail. That is very different than prison. True, that's true. But either way, he's lost his freedom. Let me ask you this, Miss Cindy, since you have so much experience with that, why, when you see these people coming in to the facility for the first time, I mean, don't some of them act erratic? Do they all just come in there? Well, I guess in prison you gotta act like a man going in there. You can't be going in there crying for your mama. But I'm saying, how do they act when they first come into prison? You want to come on stage? Want me to throw you a link? Anybody heard from Les? All right, so it depends on the person. Okay. Thank you, Robin. I'm so glad we still have a moderator here. All right, so how does the person act when they're first when they're first brought to the facility? They haven't even been given their blanket and their personal items when they first get there. You saying it depends on the person. What would you say is the case most of the time? All right. All right, Robin. Thank you for letting me know. She may have, and I missed the comments. All right. Miss Cindy, really most try to exude strength and assuredness unless they are mentally ill. Oh, okay. So you saying that the way Brian is acting is how they usually act. Essentially, most of them. I imagine they don't want to break down and look weak in front of a lot of people. I work with men. Yeah, that's why we're asking you. We know you have a lot of experience. All right, let's see. Tell it to L. What you talking about, girl? If you follow the Dan Marco case, the rich mother got arrested and she is totally acting erratic. They say she is not used to that life at all. Donna Adelson, if anyone knows that case, great example. Oh, okay. I haven't been following it, but I'll check it out. How you been doing, Elle? Everything good? Good to see you. Yes, they want to look strong. Yes. All right. We had somebody else that worked in the corrections, and it would be great if we could have both of you all here together. Robin, I would may I would say maybe fearful, but trying to act tough out of self-preservation. Yeah, I guess it's different coming into jail. It's coming from prison because when you come in jail, you have a chance to get out. It's a revolving door. People don't take things as seriously. But when you go into prison, you go in to stay for a while, and you can't go in there acting like you just finished crying or something like that. But this is just the when he first came into the court in Moscow in that orange jumpsuit for the first time, and she read his charges and whatever. He looked a little concerned to me, as he should. He did. And so maybe over time he's finding out more and more to where he's not really tripping too much, you know? LOL, I can see him. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not being overly sensitive about it. Lisa Thompson, LOL, I can just see him in there, gather all the info he can, observing and interviewing inmates nearby for his own research. LOL, this is his thing more valuable than PhD. I hate to keep saying this, but I did a video on that too. A gift to Latah County. I'm wondering if, mm, I'm wondering if, no, I better not say that. More valuable than PhD. Well, he is a researcher, but be honest with you, I think Brian has exhibited multiple personalities, and I think that a part of him doesn't really realize how far, how deep into this he is. I don't think he realizes that for some reason. I mean, let me rephrase that. I'm thinking he has some type of mental issues that may be playing a role in how calm he is, right? Some people are very hard to read. My son was terrified of school, but his teachers couldn't tell. All right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You might not we might not be able to see everything in his personality. I don't know what his medical records are in Pennsylvania. I would like to see his drug records, to be honest with you. I would like to see his medical history from middle school all the way up to college because this would give us a clearer picture of who he is. This would give us a better understanding of who we're dealing with because right now we have his traffic body cams and he said, she said, you know, that's all we have. And so, oh, shout out to Tetra. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, this is good. I like this discussion because the point of the matter is we really have to uh, look at what's going on around us while we're looking at the case, because there are trends in the spirit realm. There are trends. Like, have you ever heard when people say the death angel comes in threes? Have you ever heard somebody say that? I know I might be echoing a little bit, but I had to do something to get my sound back. All right. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but this keeps happening is what I'm saying. It's a trend in university students right now. It's trending. Somebody just tried to kill 4 students. He tried to kill 4. He took the lives of 3. And I'm not sure of all the names yet, or I would give them some type of honor and rest in peace. But I don't even have all that information yet. He almost killed 4. One of them survived at the hospital. But if they hadn't survived, we would have been looking in the news, seeing another 4, but this time it would have been in Nevada 4. Over there where who lives? Bethany. All right. We got 4 people that died over here. Bethany was the roommate. A professor just shot 4 students in Nevada where Bethany lives. So spiritually speaking, that's a connection. That's a connection. Yeah. You see that watching? I think you could be right with the different personalities though. I mean, let's be for real. This guy acted one way at the WSU pool, the stop. And then he's acting different in court because when he first got to court, he wouldn't speak to anybody. I'm sure he was drilled not to speak to anybody. And he was religious about it. He didn't show any expression. He would smile for maybe a second and take the smile off, right? Now he's coming out and he's smiling and talking with his attorneys like they've been friends. And his case is not getting any better. So I've seen, and then he acted a little different with his father, but he was with his dad. So we can't trust that behavior. But all the rest of them, you know. So yeah, I would say that he's got different personalities, and for that reason, depending on the day of the week, we don't know what his perspective is on this case. But he's taking it rather calmly, almost like somebody that's retarded. They smile all the time because they don't know what's going on. Somebody that's mentally retarded, they don't really know what's going on, so they smile all the time. All right, totally not possible, not impossible. Tetra, they could have gotten them from his first traffic stop, and why isn't that body cam available anyway? Right. I don't That's another thing we're not allowed to see. We're not allowed to hear the 911 call. We're not allowed to see the traffic stop, what Corporal do. We're not allowed to see that. And we're not allowed to, there was one other one. What else are we not allowed to do? We can't see the crime scene photos. 911 and the traffic stop. What else? Angola, yeah, we had that on tape too. All right. The first traffic stop was supposed to be for not wearing a seatbelt, but it was nearly midnight. How would another driver even notice that? That's what we said watching the watchers. That's what we said. That's exactly what we said. It was 11 o'clock at night. He was at an intersection by some grocery store over there. How did he know he didn't have on a seatbelt? And even if he did notice that at night, which I doubt, he didn't have anything better to do. That's what they getting paid by the hour to do. Because if they are, that's why the police department, that's why that county doesn't have any money. That's why they talk about natural disasters and tapping all these different funds. They don't have any money. They don't know how to manage the money that they do have. And then if somebody comes over there and tries to show them, they'll be intimidated by that person or those people. So it's not going to get done. If you're paying your police to pull people over for not having grown folk over for not having on a seatbelt at night, you wasting money. And that's how something this big can happen in your town. You know, if you petty like that, something like this can happen in your town because all your officers is focused on low-level street crime, foolishness. And then when a real, something serious like this happens, you can't handle it. It's like out of a movie. And the reason you can't handle it is because you've been dealing, how they say, fishing in the pond instead of the lake. They've been running around in the pond, and now that they have a case where you have to actually know what you're doing. And I guess they're doing the best they can. I mean, it's not like they can just raise their hand and say, we don't know how to handle this. We want somebody else to take over that has the, how do you say it? That has the experience, the knowledge, the technology, and integrity to handle a homicide case without it turning into what it is right now. Right? It was nearly midnight. All right. I interpreted your. All right, Miss Cindy again. When I worked with lifers, the ones with high IQs acted much like BK. It was amazing. The low IQ people seem to have more coping difficulty. Well, let me think about that for a minute. Now, you're saying that there's lifers. So, I mean, is he acting like somebody that already knows he's going to be convicted and he's just trying his luck? Is that what you're saying? The low IQ people seem to have more coping difficulty. Well, I would be the dumbest person they lock up because as soon as they close the doors, I'll start howling, screaming. Because some things is just not meant to be. Being locked up and isolated away from your family, that's not how we were designed to be. We we're not here. That's not why we're designed to be. We're not here to sit here and take out everything we don't like about life, everything we don't like about God, everything we don't like about other people. Take it out on society. Take it out on each other. Whatever problem that professor had, he didn't have to go shoot those students. Go get a microphone and voice your concerns. Learn how to communicate your problems. Whatever frustration he was feeling, he didn't have anybody he could go talk to. There was nobody he could go to and say, I feel like blowing some brains out. They won't give me a job, or they're messing up my pension, or they're getting ready to replace me with a 28-year-old after all I've done. And I told him I'm not through paying for my mortgage. He didn't have anybody he could talk to. Let me tell you something. I'm going to go to Europe too, just like Kaylee was going. Might as well. And I'm gonna just give my kids the deed to my house, get me a backpack, and hit the road and have some fun too. I can understand why she was headed in that direction. You know, it's a big world out there. It's a big world out there. And this professor, some of them, they probably should retire, but depending, it's not even always financial. Sometimes they don't want to retire because they're saying they can't cut it anymore, quote unquote. Did you see this episode of Bonanza where they had a wrangler? They had been the wrangler on the Ponderosa for 20 years. And he started messing up. And so um, Lil Joe gonna tell Ben Cartwright he needed to sit him down because he's old. He can't wrangle like he's been doing. The man been there 20 years. So Ben was listening to Lil Joe, and he went and told him, okay, you gonna look after the ranch hands now. You're not a wrangler. They didn't fire him off the Ponderosa. They just told him he couldn't be a wrangler anymore. And that crushed the man so bad, he quit altogether. He didn't want to stay on a demoted position. All right. So this same man ended up teaming up with two other men to kidnap Lil Joe, steal a bunch of money from Ben to get Joe back. And I think two people got shot. These older people don't play when they get 75, 80, and you try to tell them it's time to stop driving. That's hard to tell somebody been driving all their life. You got to give up your license. That's hard to tell somebody that's been working on the same job for 30 years. Listen, we got some new blood in here, young blood. We're going to go on and bring them in and move you out. You know, somebody in their late 70s or 80s or early 80s will take that hard. Somebody that's been doing something for 30 years, the consensus is you're getting better every year, right? So you should be a mogul or a guru by the time you've done something for 30 years. You have to be able to write a book. And so to tell this man that he's no longer on the market, because one thing that happened on the Ponderosa, once they demoted the wrangler and he left, he couldn't get a job anywhere else because everybody was saying, well, they know why the Ponderosa sat him down, so it's no use in them picking him up, right? So what I'm saying is this professor that's 67 that went and was just shooting students, I would love to know if he knew any of those students or if this was just random. He just meant to kill students. I don't know, but for him to go that far, a professional man that's supposed to have self-control because he's working with your kids, okay, there's a lot of people that don't have young kids anymore. So they're not watching videos about public school and kids but they're dying in the university now. What if it's you don't have grandkids in the university? You know, I know I have people in my family that's in uni right now that I'm concerned about because they got just a bigger chance of getting popped as somebody else. All right? Watching the watchers. But I think you can only keep that up for so long, fighting back. Maybe he realized he's got to play the long game. Yes. But are you saying that he's fighting back by not showing any emotion? All right. And especially, especially I think Louisiana has more people incarcerated per capita than any other state. You know, I would look it up for you, but I'm really pushing it with these devices. We're back to normal. Let's leave it, please. All right. Y'all see me? All right. Now listen. Yep, I think it's insane what people can be capable of without sleep on substances. You know, you can these we probably see more of that. Okay, I got one short that I made on how to end relationships. Just the one short I had for a long time. That's the only relationship short I made or video, or period. And it's telling you what? You got to learn how to separate from people. All right? I use the fish example. When a fisherman catches a fish in Florida, if the fish is too small, according to law, he has to throw it back. Or whatever reason, he's caught his limit. He can only catch 20 fish and he's got 20. That was number 21, so he's got to throw it back. At any rate, the more he handles that fish before he throws it back, the more slime he's wiping off that fish's body, and the more chance the fish is going to die as soon as he throws it in the water. You know, I have fish. They're very delicate. And so people are the same way. And even though that video seems like it's talking about like girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, that's any time you need to end a relationship, or you need to end a friendship, or you need to end a business, whatever you got going, partnership. It's ways to separate from people. You don't just call them in your office and say, well, you know, we bringing in so-and-so's grandson. He just graduated. He's going to do a better job than you. And send this 75-year-old on his way after 30, 40. Some people got 40, 50 years in with the same organization or the same industry. Some people have the same, you know, they have the same. So if nobody is going to listen to what this 67-year-old was saying when he went and sprayed these 4 kids, it's going to happen again. Because somebody didn't know how to fire him without wiping the slime off his body. And see, over here, I'm going to tell y'all something that came to me about this case. All right? When the professor and Brian were arguing, they were trying to tell us from the beginning that Brian's motive for doing this could have been because he was rejected from the police department. And you know, when somebody lies, a lot of times they flip the script. They tell you exact opposite of what they tell you the exact opposite of what the truth is. So the exact opposite of Brian Kohlberger not getting a job as a policeman and turning around and saying, well, turning around and saying it's the professor that wasn't going to have a job coming back. Not Brian, but the professor flipped it and put it out there that Brian was going to get fired. He could have put that out there before Brian even got fired and had people saying it. I think, now see, this is where me and y'all get into it. All right? Shout out to Australia. This is where we get into it. Because I know y'all want me to talk about Ethan and Xana's position in the house and all that. But the truth of the matter is, we already talked about all that. Look what happened a few days ago. The same thing. We almost lost 4 students. We lost 3. The same thing just happened again somewhere else. And this time we have a model. Now we have a model. Remember before, we didn't have a model. Because most of the time when we had a mass murder like this, somebody came with a gun and shot everybody. We didn't have one where somebody went in with sharp-edged weapons, whatever. They didn't have it. We have a model now with University of Nevada. We don't have Nevada 4. We have Nevada 3.5 because they had one that didn't pass away, but he was hit. So we got the Idaho 4, and we just might as well almost say we got the Nevada 4. But this time we got a model because we know who did it. It was the teacher. Why are we just breezing over that like, oh, I'm so bored. I'll be glad when she'll get to Xana, and I'll be so glad when she gets to something about the Idaho 6, and she's always going off on these tangents that have nothing to do with the case. This this professor is a model because now we know teachers are fed up with how they're being treated at these state schools. Because not only is it Nevada 4 or 3.5, not only that, it happened at another state school, University of Nevada. So not only is the demographic, the victims, university students, we have another similarity is that it's happening at state schools. That's two constants for the same problem. That's two constants. We can use A, all of the victims are university students. We can use X, A, all university state schools. We can build a model with that because usually you don't have to. Sometimes you don't have any model and you got to come up with one. We need to see how this happens somewhere else and then come back and put this together. Robin Latham, with the lot of info we do or do not have, we can't figure this crime out. Maybe it's time to come at the crime from a different direction, looking at the evidence that aren't there. Shout out to Robin. That was well said. We need to look at some things that we do have that are factual, right? Because think about it. Just a week ago, a few days ago, somebody did it again. We got the same victims. We got the same state school. The only thing we don't have is I just forgot it. Let me look at my notes. The only thing we don't have is I don't have it on there either. I just forgot. Just bam, just flew my mind. Okay, so why is no one interested in talking about the University of Nevada? Because now we have three similarities. I really need to use my whiteboard. See if I do I want to do that? No. I need to use a whiteboard. We have three similarities. We have three similarities between the Idaho 4 and the University of Nevada that we can use as variables to build a model. This is what it looks like when something like this happens. The first thing we have, like I said, is university students are the victims. We have in common that both of them are state schools because these state schools are not the only educational institutions are not the only ones in these states. They are private unis, right? And the third coincidence is Bethany Funk lived in both places. I don't know if I'm saying these things right, but I'm going to say it one more time and then I'm going to leave it. I'm going to just make a video on this week so I can say it in a way that makes sense because I can take my time and sort it out. Think about what I'm saying. University of Idaho and University of Nevada have three things in common. Probably more than that, but these are the main ones. These are the big ones. The victims are students. Number two, they're both state schools. Number three, Bethany Funk lives in both places. All right. I'm not getting too much, okay, watching the watches. kind of still on this with me. It's actually interesting that it happened in Las Vegas when most of his family live in Vegas. And that's where the aunt lives, isn't it? Watching the Watchers. Now, see, you get a brain for that. I haven't given out a brain in a long time, but you're going to get one for that. Uh-oh. Showed you some love by accident. All right. There's your brain for that. You get a brain just for listening to me because some of these people don't want to talk about that, but I know I'm on to something. I know I'm on to something because Bethany is the one that Ann Taylor wanted to subpoena. We just had almost a quadruple murder in Bethany's home state. And the murder took place at a state school. And the culprit in Nevada was a professor, a teacher. We have to be awake. We have to be on deck paying attention to what's going on right now. Because there's always clues to what's going on, right? All right, so I mean, it's this is a lot. And I, for one, remember the crimes could have been done by one person. Y'all was shocked and appalled when I said this before, but I'm saying it again. We need to have the professor on the suspect list because his students weren't crazy about him, not as far as being a teacher. They kept saying he was cool to go out with, but when it comes to a lot of them pointed to him not being able to handle technology, not teaching by the book, you're not using the textbook. Maybe he's concocted all of this. And maybe he got a friend to jump out there and do the same thing in Nevada. Maybe he didn't mean to get away. I mean, he didn't mean to get blasted by the police. Maybe he meant to get away. Or maybe it was a suicide, murder suicide for him. But maybe this is a trend. And the only difference between these cases is we know exactly who did it in Nevada. And this trend is in the same state as the person that is involved in the last one. What does Bethany Funk have to do with this case? Yep. Watching the Watchers got the first brain because we're on the same page. I really appreciate that. You're saying the same thing that I'm saying, and that means you were listening. Because some of them have their own conversation, which is fine. I'm not tripping. Okay, I want you to enjoy yourself. But listen, I'm telling you, the teacher needs to be back on the list. Because we just saw somebody. How old is the professor at WSU? Does anybody know? I can't even remember his name, and that's bad. Talking about the man and want to make him a suspect, and I can't even remember his name. But he needs to be back on the suspect list. I'm sorry. He needs to be on the suspect list. What about looking at how no one is talking? No one. All right, tell the L. Hold on, let me post it. What about looking at how no one is talking? No one, even parents, are oddly not like most secret silence. Nobody seems to want to discuss that. And the elite and money power whole town. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Silence. Okay, we did kind of talk about that. We said we're not. Nobody's talking about that 911 call. I guess they figure if they stop talking about it, it'll be, it'll be good enough. They'll get tired of asking for it and going about their business because they're never going to get a DNA report. They're never going to hear that 911 call. So just let them keep asking. All right? Our girls should get the drift. LOL trick question again, Robin. Our girls should get my drift, the hard truth. Y'all tripping. All right. Masonic, huh? Well, who's saying that? Masonic. Tell it to L. Where you been? You know what? I've been looking for you. I depend on your friendship. You won't even come check on me. What's going on? Yes, Idaho University is that little town. Whoa, that college doing well. Moscow couldn't generate money. Yeah. Miss Cindy, the money problems. You know, if I was somebody living over there, I would think that I can do just like somebody else. I can go and assault 4 of the students on this university campus, wait for the money grab, and then find a hole like the little snake, find a little hole, a way out. That's the way I see, you know, if it were Brian Kohlberg, you know, you've done this, and now you just waiting for the money grab between all the greedy people involved in the case. And while they're money grabbing, he'll find a little hole, a way out. Just like a little rat snake. He'll find a way out. While everybody over here money grabbing. He'll find a way out. You know? But one person not speaking on what happened. But not one person not speaking on what happened. Maybe they don't know. The parents. All right, tell it to L. What about looking at how no one is talking, not even parents? Okay, we just did that one. Hold on. All right. Fortunately, Mel, unfortunately, and a few others. I can't say much, but look at that aspect. I'm just learning about the money, the sacrificial, ritualistic things that occur if oath is broken. I mean, there are ritualistic vibes to this crime. I think so. Anytime you kill more than one person, I feel that there's some ritualistic vibe to it anyway, regardless of what your reason was, right? They know the DNA too. How many people still? Let me take a poll. I'll end that one. How many people still have faith? All right. My typing is a little rough, but there's the poll. Do you still have any faith whatsoever in the DNA evidence? This I would love to know because we've been around the block with that DNA. And so now is the time to make a decision of whether we believe it or not. What's the did they have this man's DNA, regardless of where they got it from, and match it to the crime, match it to Brian Kohlberg? Did that happen or not? Did this DNA happen or not? It is all like a big flashing neon sign. No way Brian walks away with his brainiac forensic programs. Hey, how could they let him just walk away? It would all be there. Brainiac forensic programs. All right, Lisa, you got a good one that time. Brainiac forensic programs. I'm gonna give you a brain for that. That sounds real good. Okay. Now, I'm supposed to be giving out brains. I'm so used to giving hearts. I need to get back in the habit of giving these out. All right, so let's look at the poll. 67%. Do you still have faith in DNA? 67% no. So 33% of you that are still in here believe the DNA that it's Brian's, and they got it, at least however they did it, it's Brian's, he left it. My poll shows up blank. Okay, tell the L put your answer in the chat then, and we'll just add you in. All right. I don't think they intend him to walk, and he knows that and remains silent. I believe the DNA was already known that it matched someone else that is tied to Brian. It's not Brian's, in my opinion. All right, that's possible. Somebody was we were talking. I think it probably was the last live. I asked Davino, do you think that they got the dad's DNA in Pullman? And I think we all talked about this. That maybe, well, they got the DNA from Brian or his dad while they were in Pullman. Because right after they left Pullman, that's when all they start acting like they were chasing him. After him and his dad left his apartment in Pullman. So maybe that's where they got all the DNA in the first place. You see, all this is going on at Pullman. How would they even know that his father would be there to help him drive back? The professor. I know y'all tell me to get off the professor's back. I can't. He was already on my suspect list. I have two videos to prove it. And now I just saw somebody else in his same age range do the same thing. So no, he's still on the list. It's all right. If you can put yes or no in the chat, and that's two people. That's two more people. We'll have 8 votes. That's cool. Wow, we got 23 likes. That's doing good. Things have slowed down, but we got some nice new people here, and we still got our soldiers. We're gonna have a good time on the 23rd. We're gonna celebrate still being here and still being together. Ain't that right? Now, listen, only touch DNA and nowhere else in that house does suspect. Okay, Miss Cindy is bringing up a real good point now. It's only touch DNA. But the point of the matter is they still could have gotten Brian and his dad's DNA while they were, packing his things, putting it in the car at his apartment. This is when Brent Kopaka was, what happened to him was around this time. Uh, how would they even know Brian's dad was gonna be there? Only the people right around Brian in his circle at the school would know that. He probably would be in the lounge saying, "Yeah, my dad's coming to pick me up." and help me drive back. We're going to drive back cross country. We're going to stay in the hotels. We're going to stop at the casinos and gamble. You know, we're going to go somewhere and look at girls. You know, he probably saying that around his peers, his co-workers, you know, in areas where it's just employees. And so they knew that his father was coming. And as soon as they left, all of a sudden, oh, Brian Koberger's in Colorado. Oh, Brian Koberger's in Indiana. I'm just saying, it just seems to me that this is very, very convenient. All right, apartment. I feel good. I feel good tonight. How y'all doing? I don't know why I just feel good right now. Anybody feel that? I just feel good. I don't know why. Something just happened. All right, how possibly could that one touch DNA be his only DNA present anywhere? It's just not logical. It's not. And he wouldn't have had time to clean up. He wouldn't have had time to clean up. Now we finding out it was bodies all over the house. I think they're getting us conditioned to when they finally have to bring out some pictures and video, body cam, or when they walked in the house, and they know when we finally get our hands on it, they're gonna have to answer. So they conditioning us and lowering the blow. They're lowering the blow for when we actually see the evidence and find out just how conniving they've been all this time. Huh? All right, let's see what Robin said. I think the DNA should be thrown out, and Ann will make that happen, or she will take it to the store. Take it to the store. Here's my question, Robin. Why does she need to get it thrown out? They say in the PCA and in the warrants to search his apartment that they're not considering the DNA as evidence to be presented in court. They didn't intend to use it anymore. After the warrant, they threw it away. And she keeps asking for it. There's nothing to give her. The only purpose for the DNA and the sheath and all that right there was to be able to arrest that man. Because he had good standing at a university, regardless of what he was doing in his private time. You know, he was a pretty decent citizen during the day, right? So they had to have a reason to arrest him. You don't just go snatch somebody out of their home in another state. You better know what you're talking about, or you better have some. Without the DNA, I don't believe a judge would issue a warrant for Brian Koberger's arrest. As a matter of fact, somebody said in the comments in a couple of videos before, they were saying, let's see, they were saying that they denied the application for arrest warrant and in Pennsylvania, and they had to go back, if I'm not mistaken. So they couldn't arrest Brian Koberger without they couldn't arrest him without DNA. But once they had him in custody and they could just blow smoke up our you know what's back there about what happened, everything's okay now all of a sudden. And so they don't need the DNA now. They put it in there as a disclaimer. What's her name? Dawn Daniels. Didn't she put a disclaimer for the DNA in her before she signed that paper? You see? The DNA is dead. Y'all need to check that video out. My video series, The DNA is Dead, y'all. That's a good one to revisit. I think it's a part 1 and part 2. The DNA is dead, y'all. I think I did maybe 2 weeks, going on. I think they did like 2 weeks or whatever. All right, so let's see. I was speaking about a technicality such as, all right, here. I was speaking about a technicality such as FBI, NIT, showing work, chain of custody, etc. Mountain Man. All right, what's up, Mountain Man? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, I am sure my touch DNA is on the book I gave my neighbor, yet I have never, ever been inside her home. Chain of custody. I don't know. Okay, we agree on how easily transferable it is, but if he's not in CODIS, how did they come up with this? How did they put this DNA on this man? They ran the sample in CODIS. They didn't get a hit. They couldn't have got a hit because he's not in CODIS, or he wasn't. So how did they put this DNA on this man? And then they involved his father. They didn't say they had Miss Marianne's DNA. They said they had the father. Why? Because the father was riding with him. That's whose DNA they could get. That's whose DNA they could get. Hey, he's here with his dad. Let's grab some Q-tips. Or they coming out of, what's the name of that coffee place down there where they had him when he went to Kate's Cup of Coffee down there in Lewiston by the Albertsons, where they say he was down there at the Albertsons? Kate's Cup of something. You know, him and his daddy were down there at that coffee place. All they had to do was just go in the trash can. Now that's the trash can they probably went in. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump this camera. I'm sorry. But I'm saying they probably did get it out of the trash can. But it's not the neighbor's trash can. It's the trash can down there at Kate's Cup of Coffee. For all we know, his daddy was down there with him. As far as we know, his daddy could have been in town. They could have both been running after these young girls. What you say? Let's see. I wish I could send photos in here. You know, you probably can tell it to L because I keep getting these notifications that say I can make it local to each place. You want me to throw you a link for the stage? Davino done left me up here by myself. Said he had something to do. Oh, I'm used to him being here. You want a link, L? Hold on. Now I don't know how to do that part of it, to assign everybody locally where they can share their screens, but it can be done. I just need to do a little bit more homework, and then when you come, you can share pictures here because it said I can do it locally. I'm just not sure how to do it, you know, because right now it's everything's rigged up. It's no method to the madness. I just tried some stuff and it worked, and I'm sticking with that for right now. But you can share your screen here. I just don't know what I'm doing. So I threw out a link if you want to come on stage and keep me company because Vino had to leave. All right, come on. Cindy Everett, if I were a juror, I would have trouble with no apparent motive. This man was surrounded by pretty co-eds, yet I'm to think he's so obsessed with one of these girls to do this. I'm going to give you a brain, Miss Cindy. I'm going to give you a brain. All right. Okay, Elle, did you get the link? Now pull up Edward up more. All right. While you getting the link, I'm gonna pull up what's his name? Edward up more. Okay, hold on. Edward. Upmore. All right. Louis the Tribune. Let me close all this stuff. All right. Oh, you can't see his face. It says Edward. I guess you want me to read some of it. It says Edward Uxmore, a lifetime resident of Cooterville, passed away March 3rd, 2015 at his home. He was 94 years of age. Ed was born September 1st, 1920 to Joseph. Okay, let me skip all that. He drove a school bus for 29 years. They raised 10 children along with hogs, beef, and chicken. All right, I see you, Elle.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
You should be out here. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I have kind of bad service in here. Um, but okay, I just put my name as E because I don't want to say too much, sadly. So I don't know how to pull up. I have no clue about this StreamYard stuff because I've never like done my own live. But if you can pull up the name that I typed, the Edward Upmore, he's an old man. It's like his obituary.
Yeah, I got it on the screen. It says he drove a school bus for 29 years.
Yes. And you see his photo.
Yeah.
Okay. Now pull up a picture of Brian. Like there's one that's really perfect. He's in a like navy, royal blue,
A picture
like
of who?
collared shirt. Brian Koberger.
Oh, oh. So what, you want to see them together?
Yeah, just compare
Oh,
side by
oh,
side if you
oh.
can.
I see it. I see it. Okay, give me a minute. I know
Okay.
an easier way to do it. Hold on just 1 second. I got you. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I need to move something. I know a way to do it. Well, we can get both of them on here right quick. Let's find. Hold on, Elle. Now you go ahead and make your point while I'm doing it, cause it's gonna take me a second.
So my point is, I think as soon as you pull it up, so this man, he has his brother. I believe his brother is Joseph Upmore, and they're all tied to the University of Idaho. And I believe you guys, if you know, like the mascot, Vandal, like the mascot for the university, um, I believe was named Joe Vandal after this guy's brother, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
And so this guy's brother, I'm not sure if this is what you're looking at, I believe, is Brian Koberger's grandfather. That's the easiest way I can say it.
All right, hold on. I got you coming.
But the cousins attend the university, and one or both actually
They look
are
alike.
in it.
They look a lot
Exactly.
alike.
They have that nose, the nose for sure.
Yeah.
And
This is
so that's
okay.
crazy, right?
All right. I got you. I know how you say you can't say it.
And it's better for me to just say it than I'm kind of just not gonna do a lot with this case anymore. Just because it's like not, it's a lot. And just, I feel, I don't know how to even say this. I wish I could just say what I want to say, but, it's way bigger than anyone thinks. And I wish I didn't know that.
Well,
But it makes sense if you really I had to do like family tree type stuff, but I still this guy, you can't deny he looks like Brian Koberger. I don't think, like Cindy said, I don't think that there ever will be an answer either. I think that that's the plan no matter what, unfortunately.
that'll be on the desktop. I know. I'm listening to you. I'm trying to put your picture up.
But yeah, so I think that this family has a lot of money, and a lot of money goes into the university. I think a lot of people, it is a small town, it's a small area, and a lot of people have a lot of money. And the ties, I'm still trying to make sense of. I believe Ethan was the target, the number one target. I don't know if Kaylee and Maddie are part of that or not.
Okay, look at the screen, and here's what you asked for. You got Brian and you got Mr. Edward in the center.
Yeah. And the
Now, what's
nose, it's his nose. It's his nose. There's one though with him like older. I think it's his it might be the picture they had of him on his like work website. But these are fine. I mean, if you look at his nose, especially the one on the top left, um, they look alike. I mean,
yeah, they do.
and also, I guess I will say there's a couple videos out there, which is how this got started for me on YouTube. And then I started asking that person questions that put the video out.
Right.
And so if you guys want to look later, there's a couple videos. If you look at the channel 1122 King Road Clue, it's all one word, and it's RD Clue. It's a little bit of it's got a lot of allegories in it. Like you kind of have to, like it was over my head. I've watched this over and over and over again. But it gives you clues as to who the cousin I'm talking about would be. And there's a couple of them. And it's a little creepy. Like the last one he put out was on the 1 year anniversary. Not on YouTube, it won't show that that's the date, but that's when it came out. And I started asking that person questions and got a lot of answers. And then I ended up needing to talk to somebody else. So I'm not talking to anybody else anymore. It's a little over my head and stuff that I don't need to get involved in. One person, I can't save the world. And it's just, this case is so deep and so big. Some creators are not who they are claiming. Like it's sad. It's disheartening to me that our country is this crazy. It's really like, it's broken my heart almost, because I never knew we lived in a world where money, like in some areas and some people, money is everything to people.
Right.
And it's not worth my life. I'll say that.
So you are not making any more videos, what you telling me?
I may, but I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to make a video about this. Like what I'm saying right now, it won't be a video I make. I'd rather speak it than have it on my page.
Do you have the time to do it?
do I have the time
Yeah,
to do a video?
yeah.
Yeah, I started to do one, and then I was informed that I should not do one.
But I'm saying, if you enjoy making them, make them. People are funny
No,
to watch them. Some people watch them, some won't. But if you enjoy
no,
making the videos, keep making them.
it's not safe. It's not safe.
Well, change cases. Make this. This is not the only case. Why don't you cover some
Mhm.
other cases? This
No, I am. It's just this case. I know too much, and
it
I
is
wish I didn't.
stressful. It is
And
stressful.
I was told just to not talk about certain things, like not to
Oh, you were
be putting
told
it
not
out
to
there.
talk.
Yes, I was. It's for my own good not to make a video about this.
So what have you been doing?
Just asking questions to the right people, but they're really the wrong people.
Yeah, well, you done got missing.
But one was a good person after the fact, so I feel okay about it. But it's also, I don't know. It made me feel like, what are we fighting for? Because what I've learned, I believe, we can all throw a fit, but like that town's not throwing a fit for justice. You know what I mean? Like the parents, it's just all very odd, and it all seems just too convenient that like Brian's not even snitching on whoever he referred to. When did anyone else get arrested?
Yeah. Now that's a powerful point right there, Elle. Now I have to
I
give you
mean,
credit
and
for that.
so
I
what
haven't
is
even thought
what's
about
up?
that. I mean,
Yeah,
isn't
and
that
once
kind of like dry? That is dry snitching. If he said it, if he said it, that is
if
dry
he said it,
snitching.
yeah.
To ask if anybody else was arrested, that's dry snitching right there.
Mhm.
And then,
And
but
I
but
changed my mind. He's not totally innocent, I don't think, but I don't think he had any. I don't think he did this to those kids. I don't think that, but there's a reason that he's not talking. You know, there's a reason they're all not talking. And I don't like what I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. And it's sick. That's what I'm telling you. I'm trying to give you hints. Like, look up what
I'm
I'm saying.
sorry.
Like,
I'm sorry.
look up Freemasons.
Listen,
Look it up.
Elle said that. She said that Brian Kohlberger was snitching when he said, "Has anybody else been arrested?" And when you think about it, that's true, right?
But now he's in jail for how long, and he ain't talking. If I was gonna have, like, why would you not talk? Like, hello, if he said that and he meant it, how is he just sitting there? He's too confident. I think that he was told something else, and it didn't go the way he might have been told to begin with.
Yeah.
He's
All
very
right. Here.
inquisitive.
Hold on. Let's see what Mountain Man is saying, and then we'll get back to that. Listen, there's a lot of people in the world that look like each other or have similar looks. When Chester Bennington died, everyone was saying that John Podesta was his dad, but in fact, he's not. That's true. These
Well,
two.
yeah, that's true.
What's the connection supposed to be between him and this man here? Because we saw what it
That
added to his family tree.
I believe that would be his grandfather, because he would be tied by way of first cousin to somebody. The dad's DNA, it would tie him to a first cousin. So just, okay, look at this. I know some of these people have had to see this. Okay,
You still got me laughing about.
Look up. I see you, and I'm like, I realize I haven't even caught you for so long. I'm like, she's on the she's on there. She's not there.
That. You should have made a video about that. The dry snitching.
I want to make a lot of videos, but I'm not willing to have the people that are behind this deal with me. Not me. So
right. Well,
it's a little okay. I see, this is the thing is like I'm very happy to be talking to you because I can say some things and it's not like it's not me putting it on a video, putting it down on paper to come back at me. That's why my name's E. But I sound crazy, but if you've stayed up as many nights as I have and you've literally tied everything together, plus these chain of videos that were put out, and then I find out certain things about the people that are telling me, and I'm finding out on my own, it's a little creepy. I'm just telling you, look up the ritualistic sacrificial thing,
Right.
and I tried to email you before I like disappeared, but it came back to me because I tried to send you what I was talking about and that you can see things, but you can't just see them. Like someone was like, I don't see anything. And I'm like, you're not gonna see it right away. Like your eyes have to adjust, and you might have to adjust your lighting, like the contrast, like higher or lower depending on your camera. Like if you're on your phone, and you should look in the dark. And telling you, like, I'm not crazy, and there are other people who see what I see, and I see certain people. I see there's faces. There's people in that parking lot, and there's things happening.
Right. You're right. I mean, you saying some good stuff tonight, Elle.
Yeah, well, good. I need to get this off my chest because I'm gonna have a heart attack about all this.
Yeah. Well, you got me on the dry snitch.
Well, if most people.
If you're not gonna make the tape, I'm gonna make it.
You make it.
People not allowed to say anything about Brian Kohlberg over in these parts. They'll jump you. They'll cut you. But that is dry snitching. I can't get past that. That's a good one right there. Now see.
Well, it took me a minute to change.
I'm gonna give you a brain for that.
Good. Do we count the brains at the end of the year and get a prize?
Yeah, I got some stuff planned for y'all for the 23rd.
I love it.
I'm gonna show you some love. I know how to do it.
I love it. I love it.
Now.
So, what's the guy's name that was always here talking? Davino.
Who? Davino?
Is that his name? Yeah, he's just not here tonight. I forgot. Like, I'm so glad to be here with you guys. I forgot, and I like that guy. He's got a lot to say.
Oh no, that's our regular guest speaker. He comes all the time.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, he's real cool. Now, I'm supposed to be giving you a brain. Hold on.
I need one. Mine's fried.
Don't say that.
It is. This case has really blown my mind.
All right. There's your brain. And I wrote it down and see you messing around. You don't want to make the tape, so I'll make it.
You go ahead. Get it, girl.
I'll put it out.
Get it, girl. You weren't told what I was. You were not. Your life is in good hands still. So yeah. You go ahead.
All right. Terry is reminding us that it's a rumor. I don't think anybody disputed it or confirmed it. I think they I don't know.
Oh, the statement?
Hi, Kathy Jean. You sure are coming in late.
Is Terry referring to the statement of did anyone else get arrested?
Good to see you. Yeah. Well, the truth.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
The truth is the truth. And so, just like they, maybe he said it, maybe he didn't. But if he did, that is dry snitching. I'm not saying he said it. But I told you
I don't
about Brian.
Anything.
They don't want to hear about Brian. They don't want to hear about
Brian. Why do you think that?
But
why do you think his parents are silent?
It's kind of dangerous too, because it's almost like admitting that you have something to do with it, even if he wasn't snitching on somebody else. I just really hope he didn't say that.
I can't really believe. I never believed he said that because it would make no sense. I mean, you're implicating yourself.
Right.
Immediately.
You know what? I got so much going here, Miss Kathy Jean, until I don't even know which volume button to push. Let me try this one right
Sorry, Kathy Jean, if I'm too loud.
Okay, what about right
probably
now? Can you hear me better? I turned the volume up on one of them. All right. Sad but true. It is Lisa Thompson. I talk to American expats a lot. They are living like a rock star in other nations. Corporate greed in the USA is off the hook. Yeah, I thought about moving to South Africa. That's not off the table
I want
yet.
to get out of here.
I was saying I was gonna move. I just waited for my kids to be grown, and so I'm honestly ready to grab the backpack and go mountain jumping and parachuting,
Mountain jumping, girl, you crazy.
motorcycle riding, and whatever else they can come up with out there, and just run and have a good time. But I doubt if I'm going to do it anytime soon. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know about America anymore.
Yeah, because I'm so bored in the United States. I'm telling you, it's slow over here. People just catching on real slow. And then it's too much going on. It's like you're losing control. You don't have control of your business. If stuff keeps happening, the same thing keeps happening. You see, the
Yep.
same thing keeps happening. I don't know. Something needs to change. Don't just let it keep
Well,
happening.
people are also just losing their minds left and right, and it's to the point of I can't even keep track of what's going on because and how sad is that?
You look beautiful, Kathy G. You look beautiful. Yeah, I got a brain. Yeah, I'm running behind. Are
Robin,
you using a mic? No, no, I'm not.
are
I'm
you
not
using
using a
headphones?
mic. I can no.
That's probably why. That's like the only thing I've learned.
I wonder if I could use headphones. Maybe that would make it better. I'm gonna try that next
I
time
think it does. I feel like
because
I'm probably really loud though.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna ask my son if I can use some of his headphones.
Yeah, for some reason I've heard they work better. So I don't know because I don't do live, but I hear you.
Yeah, I turned it up a little bit. Look at here. Many expats are telling me they left because of the gun violence here. Most nations do not allow civilians to have guns. They tell me they got tired of going to Walmart and worrying about being unalive. I'm just
Exactly.
saying, this
You
is
can't go
real.
anywhere.
You know, I mean, sending people their kids back in a body bag from university. That's
Mhm.
crazy. And just expect them to accept to have a memorial, throw them a few dollars, and sorry it happened. You might be able to do that once or twice, but this keeps happening.
Yep, everywhere. It's awful.
Thank you, Robin. It keeps happening. So
I mean, sometimes it's happened at churches. It's everywhere, and that's not. We're America. This should not be happening.
right. Hold on, I'm gonna go get me a slice of pizza and give you guys probably another 20 or 30 minutes, or until everybody's asleep. Hold on, just a minute.
Everybody's on the East Coast. Oh, Robin's not though, huh? Robin's my girl.
Yeah, everybody be asleep in a minute.
I want pizza too, you guys. We should all have a pizza party next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try some of this pizza. I've been sitting for a while.
Where is everybody from?
See how this goes. All right. So
I have a question. Has anybody been to Moscow themselves?
I got some pizza for you right here.
That looks
Is
so
this
good.
what you call late night snack, something I don't need, but it's going down.
It looks good. I love me some pizza.
They got to eat. So go check out New Zealand. Hey, let me tell y'all something. My kids are grown. My baby is 19. Grown. Been on the same job for 3 years. My kids are grown. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have anything else to do but grab a backpack, go bouncing around, see some places I've never seen outside the United States, and just have a good time. Only thing is, I need a little bit more motivation to do it, you know? But I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this moment where I can say, well, done with this, time to
You
go,
can do your channel. You can make a whole nother channel and do your travels.
Yeah, I have a great time on YouTube, but, you know, what I really want to
Disconnect
do,
for a while.
I'm never going to let go of, my production. I hope to take it to the next level. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is me. This is what I enjoy. But I really want to just leave my kids, uh, the house. I think they can handle it with both, as long as both of them do it together and just go, have fun because, you know, motherhood is longer than 18 years. But after they're grown, I think, everybody needs to get a life. I know I'm getting ready
Yeah.
to. It's time to get a life. And this is a good time to travel. COVID is over with. Remember when everything uh, was just,
Yes.
the airports went completely to hell with COVID. And so it's laid back now. You can travel and stuff like that. And so, well, this is a great time. I just need to get a little bit more courage because now, see, my family, my cousins and stuff, they'll go with me to other states. But when you tell somebody, come on, let's go
Mhm.
out of the country, that's something different. And
Very true.
some of these places you can get rental income from going over and setting up Airbnbs. You can go to some places where the rent is not as high and, get a place for a year for what you have to pay a month for here. And then just put it on Airbnb.
I know. Me and Robin
And
will
then,
go with you.
and yeah,
It's so
you put it in.
expensive in California.
All right. Listen, this is what we need to do, ladies. We need to get our passports together, pack our stuff, and go to one of these places where the cost of living is much less. Find a nice, beautiful apartment or two, just pay for it for the whole year, and then just put it on Airbnb and leave. That's what we need to do.
Exactly. That's a great money maker.
Just get your backpack, your passport, tell your friends you'll see them. Deuces, Chuck Deuces.
You
Let's get it. All right. That's what we got to work on. Come on,
gotta make your
Robin.
heart happy.
Come on, Robin. Let's go. Yeah. Because I don't really have any reason not to. My kids, they're gonna have fun, you know, whether I stay or go. So I'll just let them have this, go have me
I
some
love
fun.
that Cindy said that all nations allow you to bring pets because I'm sitting here like, well, my dog is my child and she don't even get left alone.
Well, don't say dog. Then you bring me back to the case. I'm thinking about Murphy.
Oh my God, Murphy. I cry at Murphy's pictures. I swear.
Robin said she
If
gonna
only
make this
Murphy could talk.
podcast. All nations allow you to bring pets. See, we
And
need to go.
Robin
We need to
said,
go to Australia. Now you know Australia is jumping right
I
now.
want to. I want to go there so bad. That's the one place I probably would love to go.
I'm bored out of my mind. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm so bored. I'm boring myself. All
Yeah,
right, listen.
I
I
mean, you
have
get used to
overbearing
it, your
people.
routine.
So, see, Cindy ready. Miss Cindy ready to go too. 'Cause I don't. I don't really have any reason not to. You know, my kids, they gonna have fun. See, Cindy ready. Miss Cindy ready to go too. 'Cause I don't really have any reason not to. You know, my kids, they gonna have fun. See, Cindy ready. Miss Cindy ready to go too. Where you at down there? Arkansas,
I
Louisiana,
love it. Cindy read my
Alabama.
mind. Hi,
I'm gonna
Lisa.
say
Head
yes.
pick.
Portugal is the primary expat now. Oh yeah, I don't want to go to Portugal. I I love Portugal, but I don't want to go to Portugal for my first exposition to Europe. I don't want to do that.
Cindy, you can be my family. I just have a mom and a dog.
Huh?
Cindy said she has no family, so she's ready to go. She got her passport. I said she could be my family.
All right, shout out to Lisa Hedrick. It's Lisa night.
It
All
is Lisa
right.
night.
All right, it's Lisa night. Shout out to you. I'm gonna have to put Lisa H. All right. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to have you. Okay, we're a little bit wrapping up here, but I would love to encourage you to keep coming out with us. Uh,
Yes, guys.
we
And I have to remember to catch you guys. Because what time does Thursday start?
huh?
What time do you typically do your lives on Thursday?
What time do I put what?
Your lives. What time do they start Thursdays?
My live start at 8:45 on Thursdays.
Okay.
You know that. And
So no, I don't. I lose track because I'm 3 hours behind.
okay, well,
But I'll remember. I'll
time is
remember now.
flying. It's 12:15. I'm gonna go to 12:30 because I feel good. I got a snack here and whatever, and so I'm good. But I want to make a couple of announcements right quick for people that are just coming in here. Now, oh, who, what? Oh, I see it. First of all, be sure to keep up with the scheduling. I think Les is the one that let me know this one was saying AM, but all the lives are on Thursday except the last one this month. And another important thing that I would like to reiterate is that when people donate, especially to PayPal and Cash App, from now on, I will provide a record of donors, not necessarily what they gave, but that they did give, and that will be in the newsletter from now on. All right, that'll be in the newsletter, and so what we'll do is instead of posting on the community page, it will now be in the newsletter. I will say thank you on the community page, but a listing of people who gave, donor of the month, and honoring the selective detectives like I usually do. From now on, that's going to be in the newsletter. Okay, and that way I can make sure I'm still moving towards respecting the information privacy laws. Excuse me. Oh, I just ate two pieces. I'm almost about to belch already. That's why you shouldn't eat this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, it's like a brick. All right, so you're with me, El. Mom died on New Year's Day. This is hard for me. You guys pray for me. I didn't
I'm
know
praying for you. You told me that, and I know your name whenever I see you, and I feel you, and I'm praying for you, Cindy.
So, what do you plan to do on New Year's this year to keep from being sad and stuff?
Who are you asking, Cindy?
Well,
That's a good question.
what do you plan to do if you know? I know it's got to be hard.
And Christmas too. I'm working on something my channel like because it's I'm still grieving, but I know it's a hard time for people.
Yeah.
With no matter how long someone's been gone, it's not always easy, especially if you're alone.
Right, right. Okay. Well, I don't know.
I do too, Cindy. I'll be online though, Cindy. I will be because I have it's just me and my mom out here and my dog. So I'll be online. I'm free. I'll be available if you need someone to talk to.
All right. I think this is it. We got how many people in the chat? Um, what are we doing? Are we good? Are we shutting down now? What are we
We're
doing?
all hitting the like.
All right. Okay, well, here's what I'll do. I'm going to sign off, but I'm going to leave the chat open for another 10 minutes. So that means I will be, or 5 or 10 minutes if I see y'all are still talking. And that way you can get it out, your last conversation or whatever. Okay? But I'm going to sign off now because
It was good to talk to you guys.
it's after
Thanks for having
12.
me.
Thank you so much, Elle, for standing in for Davino. I really appreciate that. I appreciate
Of
both of
course.
you. And I just would like to say thank you to everyone that came out. Um, I think I made all the announcements for the date changes, the newsletter. Is there anything else? All right. I want to say thank you to Robin and Les for the donations starting us off in what is this, December? Thank you very much for that. Okay, and we will convene on Tuesday, Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we'll have members only live, and it will be members only. You won't be able to. It won't be open to the public. So if you would like to come to the members live on Wednesday, you're gonna have to at least take a membership. Now, next Thursday, we'll have this live again. Hopefully, we'll have more information to talk about, but I can't guarantee we don't get any news. You know, we don't get any new news. We might not be able to hang this long. We may have to get together and talk about the 1 or 2 points that we do have. All right. When I don't put out videos, I'm not being lazy. It's just there's no news. I don't feel motivated to make anything. It's nothing out there worth reporting, you know. But you never know. So something's leaking every week. It's just some of it is not worth reporting. But you know, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. And I will see you all on next Wednesday at members only. Be sure to join if you haven't. Okay, donations, Cash App, and PayPal are over on the community page. Thank you in advance, and God bless.